have something to say after the next man speak. That's not a debate. So like I say, y'all, man, at the time of this truth, y'all, it's happiness. It's a bittersweet at the same time, but it's just happiness. We happy to tell the truth. We happy to hear you out, and we happy to give you our perspective. We happy to do that. We want to do that. How somebody say, we say in our terms, begging for a body. Yeah, God is begging for you to test it so it can be revealed. So right now, y'all, like I say, man, like I say, the truth has always been simple. It has been so simple, but they have made the wise question, how could that be the truth? I done seek here, I done look here, I done travel here, I went to this class, I went to that class, I heard this teacher, I heard this teacher, and now you telling me this simple truth, and I missed it? It's impossible. This is why you'll be surprised is people like that can't believe this is true, simply because of that. They're like, oh shit, is that simple? Shit, man, I could have... Nah, I can't be, man. Nah, I can't be. It can't be that simple, man. Nah, it can't be that simple. That's what people are saying right now. So like I say, y'all, join the live, man. We always talking about Ethiopia. It's very important to our liberation. This is stuff that, I find out that I haven't, at this time, I'm probably a heavy spokesman for this, but man, this was men speaking this way before me, way before I was thought of. Preaching about Ethiopia being, the land of liberation. The land of honor and dignity. Before the Haile Selassie. This stuff was being preached about on American soil by pastors who had the Bible in their hand. So what changed? What changed? And now in 2025, at the age of information, at the peak of information, we still right back looking to the east for liberation, freedom, dignity, pride, history, foundation, things to fight for, stuff to hold on to. We still right looking back what Marcus Garvey told us to look for. Look to the east. Don't pray to the east. Look to the east. So you go in the right direction. Praying to the east wasn't going to get you nowhere. You could do it 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. It wasn't going to do nothing for us. It still ain't did nothing for us. Touching a rock ain't going to do nothing. Getting on your knees ain't did nothing. That's why everybody in the Bible did something. David didn't get on his knees to defeat the giant. So why would you get on your knees to defeat this system, which is a giant? Why would you get on your knees? Deception. You're not going to stand up for nothing. You're not going to stand. The only thing you're going to stand up for is the lie you believe in. That's what deception is, y'all. That's what deception is. It cripples you for taking a stand for what you need to take a stand for.
And the crazy part about it is the fact that we know all of the things that the higher ups have been doing to hide history. Just as the operation of Moses that we've spoken about. But we don't talk about our own operation. What are we going to do to get out of this situation?
What are we going to do? Nobody in the Bible waited. Noah didn't wait on Jesus to build the ark. Moses didn't wait on Jesus to get the people out of Israel. Joshua didn't wait on Jesus or Moses or Noah to lead the people to the promised land. That's not scripture. Now, it is a waiting game because we couldn't do nothing without what? The word made flesh. We could never do nothing without the word made flesh. As long as the word was on paper, we couldn't do nothing. We have to wait until what? The word is made flesh. Now we have truth. Now we have light. You see what I'm saying? Now we have the path. Now we have the vine. divine information that if you attach yourself to, what you gonna do? Bear fruit. Nobody has bear fruit to our people because they never attach themselves what? To divine. You don't bear fruit. Any branch that bears great fruit is attached to what? A grapevine that's rooted. That's why Christ is the root of David. This is the tree of life that God is forming in the world, aka the garden. So everybody can come eat. And these are the panels that we prepare for you day in and day out. And a lot of people come eat this food. You know, now some people don't what? Don't say where they get it from. But let me shut up. We got a guest. And we're going to try to stick with the title, y'all. We're going to stick with the title.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
What's going on? Peace.
Peace.
Peace, man. Let me ask you two questions, right? Since you regard Ethiopia as this nation, do you follow her religion? Are you the Ethiopian Orthodox Church? Are you a member of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church?
No, I'm against all religion. You know that the devil deceived the whole world.
I got you. Respectfully, boss. Respectfully. Watch this. Now, when you say, oh, Christ is king, and I didn't see you so many times putting the Ethiopian kings as the descendants of the Solomonic kingdom, right? The true descendants. Now, if you read the Bible, it was a priest that anointed David, another priest that anointed Solomon. From that tradition, we hold the church and the kingdom united. Now, you can't say the Orthodox Church is corrupted, because that's the same church that's been honoring and anointing the kings for centuries.
Well,
Right?
well, get that verse where it says the kings who sit on David's throne did evil in Jeremiah. So I'm gonna bring out a scripture because I post the kings to tell the truth.
So, no, I got you.
Brother, just slow down for me. Just let me explain myself. I post the kings to tell the truth. I don't post the kings to worship them. I worship God. I don't worship kings. But the truth have to be told. Okay. Who are the real descendants of David? The world haven't been shown that.
It has been.
So, brother, let me explain myself so you could get an idea of where I'm coming from. So these so-called anointed kings did evil in the sight of God, but they still sit on David's throne. This is what the world haven't been taught. So I'm revealing, first of all, the kings that sit on David's throne, because the Bible is about David's descendants. It's not about David. The Bible talks about David's descendants sitting on thrones.
Right.
Okay, but the world has never been shown these individuals sitting on these thrones. That's what I do. But I don't worship them because of this Bible verse. Like I said, I'm bringing clarity. That's all. So I want to read this Bible verse.
Before you read that Bible verse, because when you start reading that Bible verse, look at this. When you start reading that Bible verse, now you're dictating the conversation where the conversation should be held at.
Hold on, brother. Stop.
Just answer the question. I'm here to ask you a question, not for you to ask me a question.
Brother, I'm not asking you no questions.
When you sell me the prescription, that what?
Hey, calm down. Hold up, brother. I'm not gonna beg you. I'm not gonna beg you to get my point across on my panel. So let's stop it right there, bro. I'm just gonna read the verse, and you can continue. I'm answering the question you first asked me, giving clarity not only to you but also to the viewers that's watching. So just pipe down, bro, and let us read the verse. And then you will get the mic back. Right now, you're on mute. No, it's in Jeremiah. So we're going to go to Jeremiah 36 and 30. I'm not reading a paragraph. I'm just reading one verse.
No, go ahead.
That's not it.
Should I wait? You should have been prepared, boss.
The kings that did evil who sit on the throne of David. Jeremiah Bible verse.
You know who called them out? It wasn't Jeremiah that called them out. It was It was Elijah who called out the kings who sit under David's throne who had been sinning.
Go to Jeremiah 22:2. I think that's it.
Go ahead, read.
It says, this is not the one I'm looking for though. It says, and say, hear the word of the Lord, O King of Judah, that sittest upon the throne of David, thou and thy servants and thy people that enter these gates. Thus says the Lord, execute ye judgment and righteousness, and deliver the spoil out of the hand of the oppressor, and do no wrong, do no violence to the stranger, the fatherless, the widow. I think I'm reading the wrong verse. But
6:30.
what it says?
Matter
of fact,
Hey, Brody,
if I
look at this.
if this not the verse,
Can I speak now?
Hold on,
I got you. Can I speak now until you find something? I want to say something, right? You've always used the King James version of the Bible.
Brother, hold on. You're going to speak when we get the scripture. Just
Man, I'm giving you the chance to find.
Be patient. We got the verse. It's going to be in Jeremiah.
All right, no problem.
It's in Jeremiah 36 and 30.
So we went from Jeremiah 2 to 36. Let's go.
Yeah, 36 and 30.
All right.
It says, therefore, thus says the Lord of Joachim, king of Judah, he shall have none to sit upon the throne of David, and his dead body shall be cast out in the day to the heat, and in the right to the frost. In the night to the frost. And I will punish him and his seed and his servants for their iniquity, and I will bring judgment upon them, upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and upon the men of Judah, all the evil that I have pronounced against them, but they hearken not. So it's talking about the kings that sit on David's throne. If you really want to read the whole chapter,
I got you. I never said. Look at this. I do agree with you. Not every king.
You understand? I'm just bringing clarity to why I post the kings of David. But go ahead.
I got respectfully now. My biggest question to you is this, right? Why you do not challenge now? See, when you look at the king of David, right? You don't ever see King James of the Brits being the descendants of King David, but you see
that.
But hold up, but you see, King James is the one that wrote the Bible that you say I'm reading the scriptures from. So if you using his Bible, his version of the Bible to tell me, but you're not even using the Ethiopian version of the Bible, you do not even understand the Ethiopian version of the Bible, but yeah, you talk about that, Brody. You have the translation. You know what Islam does. You have to read the Quran in Arabic. You have to read the Ge'ez in the Ethiopian language to understand. Translations get carried away because in translations you lose the true meaning.
So brother,
you have to understand.
Do you have the Ethiopian Bible?
Definitely. And I know how to read and write the Ethiopian language.
Okay, so
I know how to read and write the Ethiopian language. So I know which one is corrupted and which one is not.
Brother, for one thing, you say you're not in disagreement with us. Evidently, no matter what version you read, God have to open your eyes, because it's a lot of people who speak Ethiopian language.
God opened your eyes when you read the King James?
Brother, God opened my eyes before I read the King James. That's why But bro, for one thing, bro, you have to understand, man, it's not about the versions you read.
I got you.
Brother, you real childish.
Yeah,
you real childish.
I can't.
You can't have a grown-up conversation. You're gonna have your turn.
Go ahead.
But brother, what is your next question? I think that's the best thing to ask you. What is your next question?
How you muted me? But my thing is this: have you ever been to Ethiopia? Are you willing to go to Ethiopia? Are you willing to go see the church that you always speak against us? Now, the Ethiopian church, are you willing to go see that church?
Brother,
that's a small question.
Brother, we've been to some Ethiopian churches in America. No. We are planning on going to Ethiopia, and we'll be going there as well. But guess what? The truth still has to be revealed. All churches are under the Roman Empire's information.
All churches,
Yes, all
including the
churches.
Ethiopians.
Yes.
How? When Ethiopia has their own calendar?
Because you guys
Brother.
believe in the Middle East Israel, right? Is the true Israel, correct?
No,
Where's the
we
true
never did.
Israel? Where's the true Israel then?
You tell me if the true
No,
Israel.
you tell me.
The true
If it's
Israel
not the
has
Middle
always
East Israel,
been.
which Israel
The
is
true
it?
Israel has always been Ethiopia because the children of Israel needed a leader. That's why
So
King
why are you
David
arguing with
was.
us?
So why did Ethiopian Jews go to the Israel that's in the Middle East?
That's Jerusalem. That's the Jerusalem. Do you even know that history?
So the
So you
Jerusalem
tell
in the
me.
middle, the Jerusalem that's in the Middle East, is that the true Jerusalem?
That's where Israel is at.
Is that where the true Jerusalem is?
I'm
Definitely.
asking you, is that
Yes.
the true Jerusalem?
The one in the Middle East? That's Jerusalem. That's the Jerusalem. Yes.
but
We don't
brother-
call it
So
the
it's a
J.
yes, right?
That's the Jerusalem, but that's not the land of Israel.
But that's what David, brother. David dwells. David is king of Israel. This is what y'all don't understand. Jerusalem is in Israel.
My God. Where? Since when?
What are you talking about? Jerusalem is the capital of Israel.
Now.
Now?
In
But
Trump
brother, it's
era.
always hold up,
It's
brother.
never been a
You
capital
loud, brother, slow
ever.
down. Brother, you brother,
Ever.
Hold up. David
When Israel
dwells,
nation was
brother.
created, Tel Aviv was the capital, not Jerusalem.
All right, bro. All right, man. We appreciate you for coming up, bro.
Why? You got
Too emotional,
Yeah,
that's
you too
why.
emotional. You too loud.
Emotional.
Calling every time somebody say something, you gotta. Nah.
Of course we're gonna go against the Orthodox Christians because they're not the ones who's going to anoint Christ. That's
But-
what y'all think.
I think people need to understand this. David dwells in Jerusalem as king of Israel. I don't think y'all. This is what we haven't put together. David dwells in Jerusalem. So wherever Jerusalem is at, that's where Israel is at. Jerusalem and Israel are not separate. Jerusalem, will be David's providence in the land of Israel, the way y'all look at it. And I'm only speaking from the way y'all look at it to help y'all see. But again, David dwells in Israel, basically what I'm saying.
Israel is a people that's scattered. So obviously it's not the Middle East Israel that was created in the 1900s. It was created for them to create a new Jerusalem. This is how they put their paperwork behind the scenes. They used New Jerusalem to create a new world.
This is why they did all their crimes backed off the Bible. The Bible say create a new Jerusalem, so whoever created a new Jerusalem, they could be justified by the book. Whoever bring the Jews back to their land, they justified by the book. So now they have what? Authority. Because it's justified by the book. Why you think King Charles is right now called the King of Kings and Lord of Lords? King Charles, in front of the whole world, was anointed and ordained as Christ, and nobody said nothing.
And what y'all don't understand,
We didn't even say a whisper.
what y'all don't understand is that why Ethiopia is the biblical land is because this is where the throne is at. This is where men sat on the throne. You can't go to America and say this is where the throne was at. You can't come up with your information. Prove that, America is the biblical Israel. Prove that the Middle East is the biblical Israel. We got tons and tons of information of Ethiopia being the biblical Israel. Ethiopian having men sit on the throne, over 200 men sitting on the throne.
And there's no other kingdom that dealt with lions. Show me another people that dealt with lions. The whole book about lions. The conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. They conquer lions. They literally conquer lions. Look at them. They laying around like dogs. They ain't have no dogs. A lot of these dogs anyway is high. Damn near every dog is a hybrid.
Someone said America has dog alliance.
These ain't no mountain lions. These ain't no mountain lions here. These are not mountain lions. And they even got pictures where they going to war with lions. Lions helping them. Just like a dog would. There's no other tribe. And I just did a video about the era of princes, the era of judges. That's Ethiopian history. That's Ethiopian history. He say we gotta be ages. Do we really want to let him up?
No, we ain't bringing him up.
Oh, who is that?
I don't know. We bring somebody else.
I want some proof we agents. Agents don't bring this kind of information out. But,
everybody don't even want to talk about Ethiopia. So, I don't know. That's a clown.
And then you got Charleston. Is anybody listen to Charleston? Man.
Bring him up.
Anybody know what to say? Now it's the internet. Shit, all you gotta do is watch. It's like music. Nah, I don't think I do. Rather bring it unknown up. But yeah, man. Like I say, y'all, this is some important information right now, man. This is gonna open up what they say, Pandora box.
If you have a question, feel free to request.
And we got 2 platforms up, y'all. So if you see us talking to another platform, we got 2 lives up. But peace.
So, just a quick question one. Do you guys believe on this one, or just a way to bring up a conversation?
Do we believe in what?
No.
Like Ethiopians or the biblical Israel?
Well, hold up. We gonna show you something. We're gonna show you why we believe this and why you should too, since you think this a joke.
No. I'm just asking.
Oh no. I know. I mean, we just telling. So read that right there. Cause you from Ethiopia, right? So you know how to say that now. I need to send you this.
It's okay.
Can you read that for us?
No, I'm not Ethiopian. I just know a bit about history.
Okay. So you want to read it? Because I can't say these names. You might be a better reader than me, but I can read it if you want me to.
Yeah, you can go ahead and read it.
It says the Zemanine Manuscript variously translated the era of judges, or the era of princes, the age of princes, taken from the biblical book of Judges, was a period in Ethiopian history.
Well, I can take you to like 2,000, 3,000 years back, and Israelites were in Ethiopia even back then, like all Jewish who were immigrated from Israel.
Well, brother,
So
you missing the point. That's why you got to go back so far, because if I tell you something 2,000 years ago, I can't go fact check it. But you know what I can go fact check? What was happening in the 18th and 19th century, which is the 17 and 1800s. See, I can fact check these things. I can find grave sites. You can't find grave sites from some 2,000 years ago.
So, like, what's the point of this thingy? Just to understand.
It debunks historical research. That's what it does. It debunks it. It turns this table over. It turns the tables you eating from, the tables you go and get information from. This information turn that table over. I'm talking about and knock all the food off. Because it tells you the biblical book of Judges is about Ethiopian history in the 18th and 19th centuries. This debunked all scholarships.
I just want to recommend you one book called The Sign and the Seal. It does explain like everything back in like the biblical, the Jewish, and the Ethiopian history. And what you're talking about is like, I can see like most of it's true, but I think got a little bit confused because it doesn't really debunk a lot of things. It just adds up like a bit of information, because the one you called is a Mesafint. That's not really a biblical story, but like that just a book that's reserved for kings. And most of the kings are just mentioned there. It has nothing to do with Bible. They're just books about kings.
So
the one that says Zemene Mesafint.
Brother, King David, the Bible's about King David descendants.
I'm talking about Zemene Mesafint.
But that's what I'm saying. The Bible is a book of kings. The Bible is not a book of people all over the world. The Bible is, that's why we talk about the era of judges, which is the era of princes. Before King Tedros, you had the era of princes. You see what I'm saying? You don't find that in no other land. You don't go all through the world and find the era of princes. You don't have that. I mean, you have multiple leaders, you have multiple princes, but this is connected to what? The book of Judges. We just can't throw that out. This information don't connect with other information. This information debunks other information because the book of Judges happened when? In BC, EC, AD? No, the book of Judges happened in the 17th and 19th century.
So what does it debunk?
It debunks the historical information that they have given to the whole world. The whole world believes that Christ came 2,000 years ago. These things are made up to involve their false history.
And they lie.
But people don't want to think that there's false history.
There's too much false history.
Okay, so the history when it connects to Christ, when it connects to the David, the BC, the AD, all those dates are made up to deceive the whole world, not knowing that these things are happening in our time.
Well, if you see it in the counting time of the US, what we call like BC, AD, look at the word, we have different types of counting, like yearly. If you go to Ethiopia now, it's 2018 or 2019.
Yes, but
whatever.
the Ethiopians still believe Christ came 2,000 years ago. They will say 70 AD. If their calendar is 7 years, if their calendar is 7 years behind, and they still believe in the same Christ that everybody else believes in, the Americans, the people in the UK.
No.
Yes, we've talked to many Ethiopians. This is what they believe. They believe Christ came in the past.
Oh, yeah. Like 2,000 years ago?
Yes.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, how's that a problem then?
That's what we're saying, that Christ comes in the last days. Christ don't come. That's why knowing the book of Judges is not a historical book that goes back thousands of years, but it's a modern day book that talks about what was happening in Ethiopia. You see what I'm saying? Like, and then it talks about Christ returning to restore the throne that has been torn down in Ethiopia, which is David's throne. That's what the Bible is about. But we don't know this because of the fake history and the fake timeline that they have given us. You see what I'm saying? This is why we don't know these things.
And it also mentions in the Bible they will change times and laws. And the times is when this prophecy came about.
Well, you can't really read Bible as a history. If you read Bible as a history, it's confusing. You will never get it. Personally, the reason I'm saying this is because I taught myself, Bible taught me about business. I'm a businessman, and it taught me everything. Like, this is the reason why I said, if you read Bible as a history, it's messed up. There's a lot of confusion, a lot of new things people remove or add. But it's a roadmap. Bible. You cannot connect it. You cannot go to other books and say it doesn't match with history. This, that. Bible. I mean, it's like 4,000 years, 7,000 years history in one thing. You can't even put your life in one book. It's like you cannot put that many in one book. That book is just a roadmap. At the end of the day, it just teaches you things.
Well,
but if you go, if you want to go to history and everything doesn't really connect, like with Christianity. Like, is it true or not? That one, you need to do like more research, more historical books. They're like 3,000, 2,000 years old books, like old ones you can read.
Brother, the Bible is true. We're not saying it's not.
No. He's saying the Bible is a roadmap. No, the Bible is a sealed book that comes alive in the last days when it's being fulfilled. That's why the Bible is a sealed book. The Bible is visions, dreams about what's going to take place at God's time. And this time is separated. And I mean, this time is hidden from every man, even the son. The angels don't know the time. Nobody knows the time. So everything in the Bible is connected to that time. And it's a vision about those days. So now the Bible is being unsealed, not because we read it, not because we studied it. It's because it's actually happening. But remember, Christ heals the blind. But who are the blind? Those who can't see the things God are doing at this time. So now the blind men and the blind women gonna say, what? Now I see. These are the miracles that's happening. Not because we read it, because we see them happening. So this is the time the healing of the nations is people are being healed from blindness, from crippledness, because nobody want to take a stand, nobody want to stand up for their rights. We'll march, we'll put signs, but we don't want to take a stand and do something. You see what I'm saying? So now that was the crippled generation. Now you have the generation they're gonna have to take a stand because they're receiving the truth. Then they're gonna be able to hear. So this is the Bible prophecy. And the Bible prophecy is connected to the Ethiopian throne. So the Jesus story never happened the way it has been given to us by the Western philosophers.
It's not really connected with Ethiopia personally. I don't believe in that. But actually, I see your point though. Because, yeah, like things you're talking about kind of resembles with things I've kind of read. But I think like we're on the same page, but like there's some misunderstanding here. Like, what's the point? What's the point we're having conversation here? Just,
Well,
to get a little back.
the people of Israel is scattered. So, do you agree that they're scattered?
Yes, like they were scattered so many years ago.
Where were they scattered? Where were they taken from to become scattered?
So I mean, Israelites, they used to be enslaved like back then.
In,
So
Is-
during
in
the wars,
Israel, the Middle East, Israel today?
yeah, I mean Israelites, like what we call the old Israelites.
So there was a slave trade going on in. Okay.
They were slave. I mean, who was
No, there
building
was
the
there was
pyramid?
the eastern slave trade that they didn't take them from Israel. They actually brought them to the Middle East. So
Yeah, okay, so
they brought them
there's
to
this
the middle.
history.
They brought them to the Middle East, but from where?
No, that's like a slave trade, but like there are people who flee as well. That's the one you're forgetting. There are people who
But
flee.
we're talking about
Now,
we're talking about the Israel that were taken to a land that was not theirs.
they were not only taken, they fled. They ran away from the country because there was war.
Yeah,
People were killing them.
But where were they? Where were they fleeing from?
For example, we can talk Palestinians during that time. The war they had with Palestinians. But like that's like the old one.
Brother, the
You see-
old one is Ethiopia.
And
You have
yeah, I mean,
The
so
thing about it is, when you deal with the word Ethiopia, Ethiopia was a name given to everybody below of Egypt. Now, this is according to his historical facts. Like this is why, and it was called the land of the black. Now,
go with that. If the whole Africa used to be called Ethiopia. as well.
no, not the whole Africa. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you have scholar research, scholar research says this name was given to all the people below Africa. I mean, below Egypt. You see what I'm saying? So the whole Africa, that's more like a cop out. The whole Africa was called Ethiopia. No, it was the below Egypt that they given a name which was burnt face to black people at that time. This is why, like I say, you go research this. You see what I'm saying?
I get you.
So when you deal with the Bible, we first got to get a foundation. Is the Bible connected to what we consider today black people? Do you agree with that? Because the Bible is not every nation.
Yeah,
David,
I agree with that.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Because-
So we agree with that, right?
Yeah, I
So,
agree with that. But
okay.
the reason because of the King of Solomon.
Well,
why I
that's what I'm
agree.
saying. But if it's dealing with black people, then you got to go below Egypt. If you want to deal with scholar research, you see what I'm saying? So this is why we talk about, the Solomonic dynasty, the King David throne, which most people, when they hear the Bible, they hear Jesus, 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 Jesus. They don't hear about the king, the era of the princes. This is what the Bible is talking about. So right now, the only men that ever proclaimed to be a conquering lion of Judah, these men come from Ethiopia. They don't come from no other place in the world. That's all we saying. Like if anybody can pull up a king from another region that's proclaiming to be the conquering line of Judah, that's the only way you can debunk this. It's to pull that king up.
Yeah, I'm
We
listening to
talking
you
about
because
the we
there are
talking
a
about
lot
the
of Jewish in Ethiopia.
1800s.
They're like all Jewishes in Ethiopia. I've seen that. I've read about the history. But like, let's go back to the burnt face and everything.
But
Even when you go back to King Solomon Day, even King Solomon himself, he said like, I'm black, but I'm beautiful. That's what he said. There's like a verse, like in history, there's like a line that says, I'm black, but I'm beautiful.
yeah,
We know
but
about
brother,
that,
we
yeah.
talking about the
That
proof.
means all the Israelites were black.
Well, okay, well, that's what I'm saying. So
We want the proof of those kings. That's what I'm saying. You could read all you want, but we want the reality of what the biblical prophecy is talking about. You guys can't bring that reality. You can only bring up a painting of an old Solomon. You can only do that. You
that the
can't
Europeans gave you.
exactly. You can't come up and talk about the 1800s or the 1700s or the 1900s.
And if you can't talk about that, you can't know anything before that. If you don't know about the 17, 18, and 1900s, but you go back 2,000 years ago, you should know about what? You should really know about the 19, 18, and 1700s. You should know that like the back of your hand if you know about 2,000 years ago. But you really find out everybody that know about 2,000 years ago, they don't know about the 1700s, they don't know about the 1800s. You see what I'm saying? This to show you why you was given. They told you to go back so far, so you'll never know what's happening right now.
That's real. I mean, I agree with you to some level because it's changed. What the European gave us, that's what we're taking to the max amount.
Yeah.
But you're forgetting about the small amount that's like reserved for the longest. Small amounts, even like connected to the seal. Let's say like the Ark of Covenant. Like if you speak about that, you have to go a bit back to when the Israelites brought that thing to Ethiopia. So this one, everything you're saying is true. Actually, like I agree with you. I just actually giving me information that I didn't know about even.
But see, the thing about the Ark of the Covenant, the Bible says the Ark of the Covenant was hidden until the day God restored the people.
Still hidden.
All right, that's what I'm saying. So the Ark of the Covenant is information that's going to restore us. This information, even in the Bible, it says the mysteries of God is spoken. And also the Levites carried the Ark of the Covenant. This is information that people going to have with them. To what? Save the people from the lies or the false information or the darkness of the world. To bring them into God's ship. To bring them on God's ship. That's what the Ark of the Covenant is about. So this Ark of the Covenant is hidden to the world because it's going to be revealed by God and God anointed one. And God going to give this ark of information to the Levites, aka the priests. And then these are going to be the savers of the world.
I think you misinformation on that one a little bit. Like when it comes to the representation of Ark, because the Ark doesn't really represent about it represents Mary, Virgin Mary.
Oh no.
That's what it does. No. Yeah, like the Ark.
You can look at it this way.
Virgin Mary and like the 10 Commandments, it represents Jesus. Like the Ark was like, the stomach that was holding Jesus, and like the 10 Commandments is like the Jesus. That's what it represents, like the true meaning of our covenant.
Okay, look at it like this. The covenant, that's why it says the messenger of the covenant, right? God covenant has a messenger. Now the messenger is the ark. Because he's the one that have the virgin information, aka the Virgin Mary. He's the one that has the undefiled information that man ain't touched. It's a mystery. Man ain't touched this woman. This woman is undefiled. And this is the information that's going to be, that Christ going to be, because Christ is also somebody that's born again. That's why Christ is the firstborn. So Christ is born again from the virgin information that come from God. That's undefiled. So Christ is the Ark of the Covenant. And that's why it's the Ark of the Covenant. It's the information of the covenant that's going to give you a relationship with God. It's the same boat. It's the same symbolic meaning of the boat of Noah. The same boat that Noah built was the ark. That's why they call it the ark. But the boat was symbolic for what Noah was speaking. That's why I'd be like, damn, you believe Noah? Oh, but see, in our time we say what? Man, you riding with Noah? Yeah, everybody who accepted Noah's words, they was riding with Noah. So they got on his boat. But we don't look at it that way. We looking for a ship. Oh, he must have built the ship. God gave him measurements. No. It's the same Ark of the Covenant that Noah built. These are prophecies and visions what was shown to Moses. And see why this is why the scriptures say, as in the days of Noah, it will be what? In the days of what? The Son of Man, because that's Moses' vision. This is not history, that's a vision. But like I said, this is stuff that's being told to the world. You can't read this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a vision. But there's two different conversation here. If you speak about like Noah's Ark, it's different. If you speak about the Ark of Covenant, which we call it like the Lady Zion, the Ark of Zion, that's a different topic. Completely different.
And trust me, and that's what they want us to believe, but it's the same, brother. It's the same.
I got you though. Anyway, thank you for the information.
All right, brother. Appreciate you coming up, man.
Have a great day.
Peace.
Likewise, brother.
I think that's that guy.
Cool.
Maybe he was talking to
What's going on? Peace.
Ethiopian. Peace, guys.
Peace, blessed.
Maybe not.
What's going on, brother? What you got for us?
What you think of the topic?
Tenestanin.
What you think about the topic right there?
Yeah, man, I love the topic. Ethiopia. Yeah, man, it's straight, man. Ethiopia is the biblical Israel, yeah? Ethiopia shall stretch forth her hand unto God. That was a prophecy, Aren't he like unto the children of the Ethiopians, O Israel? Comparing Israel to Ethiopia, not Ethiopia to Israel. So we know that the source of Israel and the prophecy is from Ethiopia.
So
all the biblical prophecy is talking about Ethiopia.
So would you say this is the prophecy of a kingdom being built and restored to its ancient ruins, as it says in Amos? It says a kingdom will be restored to its ancient ruins. Do you know anything about that scripture in Amos? You can hear me?
Yeah, man. Ethiopia shall fulfill that prophecy. As it says in Psalms 8.
Well, no, I'm saying like do you know about that scripture where it talks about the ancient ruins will be restored? Hello?
David throne in Ethiopia. Yes, it should be restored in the end time.
In the end times. Okay. I was just trying to make sure because that's what a lot of people differ.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we hear you. Can you hear me?
I think he's getting it late or something.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you, but it's breaking up a little,
Just come back.
This powerful conversation.
Just come back up. I'm
invite you back up.
Invite you back up. Hold up. Let me see something. I think there's a trouble. Okay.
I already invited him.
Yeah. I'm trying to invite you back, brother. You had like a little lag going on. So a lot of people argue the fact that, Revelation's been fulfilled and all this stuff being fulfilled, but the fulfillment of the Bible is restoring David's throne. David's throne has been ruined. And the Bible prophecy is about restoring that. So if a lot of people are holding the Bible in their hand, but they have no works to restore the throne, so they are not doing the work of God. See, right now, our harvest is plenty, but the workers are what? Few. We're not working to restore the throne of David.
You. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I think that's on his end.
Hey, can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm hearing.
Okay, I'm making sure there's no lag. So
Yes,
yeah.
I can hear you, but it's breaking up a little, but I can hear you.
Okay, well that's not good, brother. So
that's on his side. That's on
yeah,
his side.
you're gonna have to when you gotta come back when you get some better service, man. Yeah, cause they're gonna be bad for the conversation. So just come back when you get
Yeah, man, it's a sabotage, man. It's a system. It's the system.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right, brothers, come back. We're gonna get some better service, brother. Disconnect. So, do we want to bring something out? Now, let's talk about the picture behind us. This picture behind us is Ethiopia, right? Now, America in the circus, what do? Train lions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where did they learn this from? Where did they learn how to train tame lions? Nah, that's somebody. He heated up and Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
No.
I'm gonna bring it up.
Got it. So this picture behind us, like I said, y'all, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. We can't run from this. You cannot run from this, man. All right, y'all. So like I say, this stuff you can't run from, man. You cannot run from, the information we bringing out, y'all. But I want to pull some up right quick. I want to read this. I put this up a few minutes ago, but I think I just want to make it very, very clear. I want to make this very, very clear, y'all. I don't want to go over nobody's head. So what I have behind me is something called the era of judges. That's what it is in the Bible. But it's also called the era of princes. So if you know anything about Ethiopian history, it was a time where there was no king in Israel. There was no king in Israel. I want y'all to understand this. So when there was no king, you had the era of princes, right? You had the era of princes. Now, with no king, you had the era of judges, so we would say. So go search America, go search Israel, because people saying America is the biblical land now. Go search the world and show me where you can connect an era of princes and an era of judges. Go show. Go search the world right now and see if you can find history that has the era of princes, aka the era of judges. You can't find it. So we show you the only place, you know. Hold up, y'all. I got real bad echo. Hey, turn that phone down. It's echo. You know, so right now, y'all, when we talk about, you know, the era of princes, most people who read the Bible never even heard of it. With the era of princes, what is he talking about? My Jesus Christ, my Jesus Christ. That's where everybody. That's how everybody. My Jesus Christ, my Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ wasn't in the era of judges. Because Jesus Christ was an end time prophecy story. It was not a deity story that you big up about what somebody did in the past and how they coming out the sky and you worship them because of what they did in the past. That's why the whole Bible is about what? Worship the living God. God is not the God of the dead. Moses' God is still here. All the prophets' God is still on earth to deal with living people. So the goal is to get the people back to the worship of the living God. If Christ ain't here, he in the ground. If Peter ain't here, he in the ground. They always living men. They always flesh and blood. So if they're not here, they are not living. So the living God will be in people among us that's connected to a certain order, because everybody want to get all this God is in me. No, God is in you through an order. God just don't dwell in anybody. If God dwelt in anybody, the world would be a better place. Because if God was in them, they wouldn't have did that. Trust me, they wouldn't have did that. They did that because God ain't in them. So if we get into what we read, because this went over my brother's head I was talking to earlier. This went clearly over his head. I feel like I'm crooked. But it says, I can't say this name, I can't say this name, y'all, but you can read it for yourself. That's why I got it on the screen. But it says, y'all, the Zenami Mesophophent translated. This is a translation. Or variously translated the era of judges, which is also known as the era of princes, also the age of princes. And where is this taken from? Taken from the biblical book of Judges. Now, if you look up right now, this is the deception. This is the Council of Light. If you got enlightenment, you know Judges didn't happen no BC. You're like, come on now. That's if you look up the era of Judges, the BC era, you can't find no value history. You go try to look up the BCE, the era of Judges, you can't find no you can't find no biblical history. You can't fact check nothing, basically what I'm saying. But if you look up what? Ethiopian history between the 17 and 1800s, oh man, you find a flood of information. You find what? Grave sites. You find actual things that you can hold on to. You find a foundation. Hear me out. You find a foundation. You don't find a foundation when you where my phone at? Where my phone at, y'all? Let me see. When was the area of Judges in the Bible?
The period of the Judges
When
in the
was the
Bible
area
took
of
place
Judges
roughly
in the
between
Bible?
1200 BCE and 1000 BCE, spanning about 200 years. This time was after Joshua's death and before King Saul, with tribal Israel being led by charismatic figures.
The tribal Israel. The era of princes is about the tribes. The tribal Israel. You can't find no tribal information about Israel. It says the era of Judges. Damn. Let me go back, y'all. Let me go back. I'm just showing y'all the lie and the truth. When was the area of Judges in the Bible?
The period of the Judges in the Bible took place roughly between 1200 BCE and 1000 BCE.
1200 BCE and 1000 BCE. How can you go look that information up? Go look up what happened in 1200 BC. I can lie to you. I can tell you anything. Moses split the Red Sea in 1200 BC. What you gonna say? He didn't? Well, he must have did it because back then, man, we had powers. Too much Disney, huh? You've been watching too much damn TV. The Europeans did not take over the world with power coming out of their hands, with nobody coming from the sky, and with them getting on their knees. Nothing ever was conquered like that. That's not nature. That's not nature. So you can't fact check the lie. You can't argue the lie. You can't argue with nobody what happened in 1200 BC. So you know why we don't take a stand to biblical history? Man, it happened in 12,000 BC, man. I don't even know how to look it up. How you gonna look up 1200 BCE? But the era of princes is what? A period. Now somebody lying. I ain't put it on Google. I ain't tell Google to put this up here. I ain't call Google and say, hey, man, you know I'm telling the people, man, you know, the Bible changed, man. That history of the Bible is fake. I didn't call Google and tell them that. I ain't talk to AI and tell him to switch this information. The information is there. You gotta know what to look for. You don't know what to look for because you believe the lie. I know what to look for because I believe the lie. I mean, because I don't believe the lie. I say I believe the lie. I'm being distracted, y'all. Trying to get us some of this good tea. But, so, since you believe the lie, you'll go with the narrative. You'll go with the 1200 BC. But what? It's a period in Ethiopian history between the mid 18th century. That's like 1730. All this time, America is being created. And my sister got a great timeline for y'all, man. Like, you know, just to, like I say, we rarely have connected the connection that America has with Ethiopia, man. The connection that America has with Ethiopia is great. This one's the best. Yeah, bro. The connection that America has with Ethiopia, man, y'all, it goes back way further than you can think. The first African American church was the Abyssinian church. Where does Abyssinia come from? Ethiopia. Why was this in the 1800s? This is the beginning of the 1800s.
And a lot of y'all want to like comment in the comments, but come up and prove that what we're saying is wrong.
The Abyssinian church was like in 1806, man. How many people can trace their family back from 1806? You don't even know what the hell was going on in 1806. But you had Ethiopian settlers arriving in America talking to black people. Oh, but they ain't know each other. They just arrived up and just be like, oh, what's up, partner? Oh, what's up, bro? And they just started talking. That's what we saying. Come on, man. Like I said, y'all, we can't do everything for y'all. We can't make you drink the water. We can just we can prepare for you.
What we're saying is that historical journalists were trying to make you not look to Ethiopia for a reason, because they have a throne. They have a throne that overrides their throne that they have created by stealing what Africans had before them. That's why they came to Africa to divide it and conquer. It wasn't just about resources, it was also about a majesty.
And like I say, y'all, this throne is connected to God. I don't want y'all to lose that fact to keep our righteousness. This throne is not a throne to say, look at me, ha ha ha. This throne is also to bring the knowledge and wisdom of God back into the earth to heal the world. The Great Britain throne will never do that. It wasn't built to do that. It's not built off righteousness and principles of God. It's built off savagery. The world knows that. But like I say, if you don't know the game, you can't play. How you gonna play the game? You don't even know where they playing at. We think they playing with what? American freedom. If you seeking American freedom, it'll never happen. It'll never happen. Look how long we've been doing it. Let's get American freedom. Let's get America freedom will never happen. It's no such thing. That's why this is like I say, y'all, this is the awakened generation. We know America is connected to the crown. We know we know this, but we can't do nothing about it. Because where our crown at? We saying our crown in America. The period of Ethiopian history is the age of princes, not America. But see, if you was finding this information out in the 1900s, when we was proud Africans, or we wanted to be proud Africans, you would never call yourself from America. You would never hold that tight. I'm from America. You only say you're from America because you ain't never found no proud African history. You never found no proud African history. Let's keep it real. Americans never found no proud African history, so you settle for American history.
What's next? Trump is king of Abyssinia. Why would we talk about Trump, brother? Like,
Troll. You know, man. Trolls come, man, when you have valuable information. But I just want y'all to read this for yourselves, to see this and really understand where I'm coming from. You know, like it tells you the era of warlord. Again, that's when princes was fighting. The tribe was fighting, as it's still tribal war. The Bible is about tribal war. The Bible is about tribal war. You know, like I say, y'all, these things can simply be understood, man, on a simple level, man. I think that's thank you.
you think so?
Break this camera up. I had to go to the wrong spot.
You said the throne had not been restored. Does His Imperial Majesty not restore the throne?
No, the throne was already there. Somebody was already on the throne. He didn't have to restore it. People had to be unalive so he can be sit on it. The throne was already in effect. The throne was actually destroyed after him. Like he didn't restore it. And everybody was an Abyssinian king until Haile Selassie. Everybody was an Abyssinian king until Haile Selassie. Wake up and smell the coffee. But, you know, y'all, like I say, man, it's just, we really have to understand this foundation, because it really brings the conversations that we're trying to have, because we are trying to have Bible conversations. We're trying to find out the real biblical history. You see what I'm saying? We are trying to find the biblical facts. We all want to, this is a generation that wants that conversation so bad. But your foundation is saying the history you standing upon, the land you trying to connect yourself to, all this is making the conversation non-void. They laughing at you. But when you mention Ethiopia, when you mention the throne of David, the conversation is like a trumpet. It brings vibration to the higher ups. See, you're not going to be standing on the street corner accusing your brother. That's what the devil is, an accuser. We're not up here to accuse y'all. We're up here to give you food to help you do the work of God. This is information that's going to make you stand up for God, because we took a stand already. Because we got this information. This is what's going to make you stand up. So we have to feed our people the nutrients. That's why I tell you, when you take a test, make sure you eat a good breakfast. Well, this is that good breakfast that's going to help you pass the test. This is that good food that's going to give you strength, nutrients, so what? You can withstand these lies at these tests of times. You know, but most people, when they read the Bible, they have been taught to accuse you of you doing wrong. That's what they're doing. They accuse. The devil is a accuser of the brethren. It's written in the scriptures. We don't see it that way, though. So anybody that got the Bible in their hand, they're accusing you of doing something. This is the devil. We got to find a way to put a title like that one day.
Oh, yeah, just like that. Just like that.
Yeah, the accuser is the devil. Like that's the Bible says
The
that.
accuser is, yeah.
You don't have the right to accuse nobody unless you what? The anointed one that the book is speaking of. And we know everybody is not the anointed one. If everybody's the anointed one, it ain't no anointed one. There's no such thing as the anointed one. It's the anointed everybody. But that's why everybody's not Christ. That's the whole simplest thing, y'all. It's just it's called order. Numbers don't lie, so you can't start without one. If you got 2, you got 1. If you got 3, you got 1. If you got 100, you got 1. So you can't keep it 100 without having 1. I do always come up. Yeah. What's going on, brother? Peace.
Peace. What's up?
What you got for us?
Yeah, I saw the prompt. Ethiopia is the biblical Israel, and I kind of wanted, to know how you made that connection.
Well, I just had the title. I just had it up here, brother. There it is, right there. You want to read it for us?
Era of judges, era of the prince, era of the princes, etc. Taken from the biblical. I see. So, I'm not too familiar with the era of the prince. But did you hear about Yukumlo Amlak?
Now, it's not really about hearing about it. The era of princes. Are you familiar with the book of Judges in the Bible?
Correct. Yes.
Well, you familiar with the era of princes? That's what it is.
It's another word.
It's another word. It's the book of Judges is the era of the princes. But the era of princes is a period in what? because you was kind of mumbling when you was reading. So it says a period in Ethiopian history. It don't say Israel history. It say Ethiopian history. So when you ask me the question, how did I get the Ethiopia as the biblical Israel? That's why the fake Israel was created in 1948. But the true ancient land, it was never created. It been there.
Again, so I ask you about Yukumle Amlak. He was the founder of the Solomonic dynasty, which you call Ethiopia today.
No.
This is a simple Google search, like you search that. You see it.
Well, see, the thing about Google tells the truth and backs up the lie. You see what I'm saying? Because Google is created by who? A man, right?
No, it's information that we feed it.
Okay, who feed it? Humans feed Google,
Correct.
right? So that means humans put information on Google, right?
Correct.
Okay.
The same as we do.
So right now, you can search right now on Google and say, when is the era of Judges? And Google will tell you 1200 BCE right now. Because somebody put it on there.
So
you can Google these things. But see, the thing about Google, you have to know the truth. See, I know the truth, so I can Google stuff. Because I know what the lie is, I know what the truth is. But if you don't know what the truth is, all you can take is what Google give you. I don't use Google that way. So right now, no matter what, the era of Judges is connected to Ethiopia. Now the timeline is what we will argue about. Oh, it happened such, but I can't look up nothing that happened in 1200 BC. I don't even know what time that is. You see what I'm saying? So I can't fact check nothing that happened in 1200 BC. But I can fact check stuff that happened in the 19th century.
Arc Revolution. So there's history, my brother. You see it. That you could look to see these things. Like, for instance, if you look at Yakumle Amlak, you would then see that their dynasty overthrow the Zimbabwe's dynasty. Zagwe dynasty, my apologies. The Zagwe dynasty. Yeah. And
but that's the era of princes. You had the tribal war. That's the era of princes, brother. Like that's what the era of princes is about.
So regardless
don't warring with one another.
And regardless of that, that's how it's connected to Ethiopia as the biblical land, because where is the biblical land if you don't believe it's Ethiopia?
Israel. Shit, what do you believe?
So you could look at it from two perspectives, right? So the monarchs is where they get the kings and the queens and so forth, right? And
from where?
They get their power from God. That's what they're
No, where are these kings and queens? Where are they from?
Right now, we have a king called King Charles in England, and you had Selassie that reigned for Ethiopia, and his reign lasted until 1974. See it? So
okay, but we're talking about Israel.
I'm talking about the king of the conquering lion of Judah. Where is that king from?
That's what I'm saying. That's only based on monarchies and the people that has the book.
Brother, the thing about it is, what other country has a king that's the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah? Whether it's a title, whether it's a monarchy, what other land has that?
That's just their traditions, my brother.
But is there traditions because why they read the Bible, or is it ancient traditions?
Correct. So the ruling class has the constitution that they rule over the people with. And Yakumle Hamlak used the Bible that he has his power from there. You have to know that the church also blessed him as the king. He said that he was a son of Solomon's son Melanic I. You see it? So it stemmed from all the way in the 12th century. They then released the Copernicus and the Fetanicus in the 13th and 14th centuries. You see it? And that's how all of these things stem all the way up to now.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. The era of the princes, according to this post, happened in the 1700s, where Israel didn't have a king. So this is why you have the era of the princes, or the age of the princes, or the era of the judges, because there's no king. Everybody is judging one another. Everybody is warring with one another. And all of a sudden, a king rose up.
But they always had a monarchy system. They
But
always had that part
brother,
where
they didn't. That's what I'm saying. That can't be true. If in the 1800s it was no king, it was but before Tedros, it was no king. Now, if you want to go far back, maybe the 1500s, maybe it could have been a king.
they were
But
kings.
but for a long time, Israel did not have a king. That's why it's called the era of princes, not the era of kings. So Tedros was the one to rise up as the king. At the same story, he rose up as king. He proclaimed he was from Solomon, and the church anointed him. The same story you told me.
That's what I'm explaining to you.
But
That's
that's
how it
what I'm
always
saying. But
happened.
this happened in the 1800s, which is the 17th century. What I'm
Correct.
talking about. What
That's
you
what I'm-
talking about happened. Shit, you don't know when it happened,
I do. In the 1273 to be exact.
brother. Nobody knows what happened in 1273.
We have records, bro.
Brother, you
These
don't
are
have
history.
bro, you don't have records, bro. Like, for one thing, brother, let me tell you something about the timeline in history. They have stretched out time to tell you a lie, because you can't argue. You didn't find the records, and you don't have the records. So we have to stop signing. We got to stop co-signing with those who created the lie, because that's basically saying we got the records. You ain't got no records. The only thing you got is Google. It's no records written down that's connect us to the 1273. It's no record on paper. Wouldn't even last that long. That shit'll be in a glass where it can't collect air. And matter of fact, we was writing on goat skin. So you don't even have writings that connect to those times, bro. Especially on paper. Because
So
shit, even in 1800, they was writing on goat skin.
I could debunk that in 1 second, because we still use the Bible today. You see it. So what you're explaining is kind of vague, very very vague. There are multiple ways that we keep records, and multiple ways that these things get restored. You see it. We also have ways that we test the length and time that these things are on the earth, if that makes sense.
So you believe the Middle East Israel is the true Israel?
Humans, bro. We as in humans, bro.
Brother, you believe that the Middle East Israel is the true Israel?
No, I think there's a spiritual Israel, and we all have that place. But I don't think that the physical one is the real one today, based on it being created in 1948.
So where is the kingdom, or where is Christ's government going to be established?
So that's what I'm explaining to you. Those things only exist within a monarch system. Those
Okay,
things
but
are
I'm
not
saying
exist
where.
in the
I'm
republic.
saying where, because Christ is a human being that will be on earth establishing these things, because he will be bringing heaven onto earth. So I'm saying, where are these things going to be established?
That's what I'm saying. Those things are not being established, because that's only in a monarch system. You see how
Brother,
Yaji
Jesus sits on his father's throne.
That's what I'm explaining to you.
King David.
You see how you're explaining the period in Ethiopia history between the 18th and 19th century, when they had the era of the judges, or the era of the age of the prince, when they all are fighting. That's the same thing happens within a monarch system. In a republic, what we have in the United States, you literally have the leaders get their power from voting, but in a monarch, they get their power from God.
But
You see what I'm saying to
a
you?
monarch is not everywhere. A monarch is in a specific place. Just like British monarch, hold on, just like British monarch is in the UK. Where is Christ's monarch going to be? Because he is king. So if he's king of kings, he's going to have a monarch.
Great question. So do you know Ethiopia?
Do what?
Do you know
I
Ethiopia?
think you're just playing games at this
No,
point.
no, no. Listen. So Ethiopia is
Brother, no. We're
one.
not asking you to explain something. We ask you to answer a question. Where is Christ monarch going to be? That's a question. Give us an answer.
He had to set up a monarch state, but that's what I'm explaining. The
Brother,
monarch
we're
state,
not listen. We're not asking you to explain nothing. We asking you to give us an answer of where Christ monarch is going to be.
in reality, there's no such thing, Yaju, because even in Ethiopia, they canceled the
So,
monarchy.
okay. Brother, stop trying to explain to us, bro. Trust me, we not. When we want an explanation, we know how to ask you.
Copy.
But so basically, you saying Christ is not going to send up a monarch.
Correct.
So Christ is going to be King of Kings of what?
And Lord of Lords of the earth. When Christ walked the last time, did he have a throne?
No, brother, stop trying to explain. Just give us answers. We're just looking for answers. So Christ is going to be King of Kings and Lord of Lords of what? That just an answer.
The same way he did the last time, Yaju. Did he had a throne the last time? No.
Well, no, because he didn't. He's coming. That the point of him. We don't believe Christ even came, because if he did come, he would have a throne. That's what we telling you. It says he sits on his father's throne. So he and Christ's lineage is David. So I want to ask you this: did David have a throne?
David had a throne.
Okay, is Christ the seed of David?
That would be Solomon.
Is Solomon the seed of David?
Yes.
So
Solomon
if Christ
had
comes from Solomon, Christ is the seed of David.
Correct.
Okay, so Christ is going to restore David ruins, as they tell us in the Bible. Matter of fact, let's read it for him. Let's read it in Amos. Let's read it for you, bro. Let's read.
Respect.
Let's read prophecy right quick. So we go to Amos. Amos 9. I think that's 11. Yeah. This is the restoration of promise. This is God promise. So it says, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is falling. So the tabernacle that's falling is the majesty, the throne. So and close up the breaches thereof.
Amos,
I will raise up. Let me finish. I will raise up his ruins. What is David ruins?
It's I would say the things that he had that is now destroyed.
What are those things?
His kingdom and
his monarch. David had a monarch then, right?
Correct.
Okay. So it says, I will raise up his ruins and I will build it as in the days of old. So Christ is the carpenter to rebuild David's monarch.
I see. So the one that came the last time was just a fake guy.
No, he never came. No, that's what I'm saying. Christ didn't tell you he came. The colonizer told you he came. There's nowhere in the Bible where it say Christ came 2,000 years ago. That's information that's been told to you. That's not in the Bible.
So which parts of the Bible is better for you?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not the Bible. It's what you've been told. That's the lie. The Bible don't lie. It's not the Bible.
The Bible doesn't have dates. You get that from historical journalists. You don't get that from the Bible.
I see. So what you're saying is that the book is almost timeless, and whenever these things then take place, that's when the time activates?
I'm pretty sure you know that, my brother. You just spoke to us many times, so you know where we stand.
But I wouldn't see it like that, Yaju. You see it because...
Oh, I got you. Trust me, I know why. I know why you wouldn't see it like that. And that's what the information does.
But are you proclaiming to be Christ?
No,
but the Bible is about Christ comes in the volume of the book, not everyone. So it's about the interpretation that comes from Christ. Everyone else has their own vain imagination of what they think.
I see. So in vain, I would think of vanity and physicalness, you know? I wouldn't think of like fake. Of course, a reference to that.
Not to my own thoughts. Your thoughts is vanity. That's why I say lean not to thy own thoughts. The Bible instructs you not to lean to your thoughts. So that's what vanity is. Your thinking is vanity. Because Christ is the word made flesh. You don't go to your flesh to get the word. You don't go to the Bible to get the word. You got to eat the flesh of Christ. That will be the bread from heaven that will give you the food for thought. So your thoughts won't be vanity because you have been fed the bread from heaven, which will nourish, guide, instruct your thoughts.
Let's see. So okay, so let's put into perspective now. Like, so would you then set up a monarch or a republic?
No, it'll be a monarch.
So that's what I'm saying. Even Selassie tried that and it kind of failed. I mean,
No,
when
he
he was
didn't.
unalive.
He didn't try, bro. Like Haile Selassie got on the throne, brother. When the Bible tell you David's throne was gonna be ruined, so Haile Selassie wasn't the one that was gonna fulfill prophecy. He was not the one that tried. Haile Selassie held on to the throne. He didn't
Correct.
restore nothing. He didn't establish nothing.
And that's why he failed. If he
That's what.
had
No,
just
no,
set
he
up a
didn't.
republic, it would have been a lot better for him and his people.
No, it wouldn't, bro, brother.
Right
Ethiopia
now
is
it
still
is.
messed up right now. You ever?
Now it's a republic. Now it's
But
completely
it's
different.
messed up under the republic.
You thought it was better under the monarch? No way.
Bro, it's not about what is being better or what. It's about God prophecy. This not my prophecy anyway. It's God prophecy. So I'm doing the Father's will. This is not my will. I didn't write the will. So the Bible talks about David's throne being destroyed because of its being corrupt. If the throne wasn't corrupt, then yes, it would have been good for the land. But the throne was corrupt according to scripture. So according to the fulfillment, the throne is going to be restored, but this time it's not going to be corrupt. That's all we saying. And this is Bible prophecy.
Fair. So would it be a righteous ruling? Like, for instance, like let's play with this one because they. Oh, sorry, my apology. I got a call. So some people think of like righteousness, right? As just you being, with love and just generous and morally right? But a lot of people think of it as also following the 613 laws of the Old Testament, which is from the Torah. So would you follow the laws of the Torah, or are you coming with a new law as in love conquers?
Well, yeah, I fulfill the Torah is not law. The Torah is Moses' instructions to receive the voice of God. So let's get that straight. That's why I fulfilled Moses' law is the vision of God. God law is going to come from Christ's lips. You see what I'm saying? So that's like the New Testament. Christ gave you 2, Moses gave you 10. See what I'm saying? So that's showing you how it's not more of the new. Everything is in alignment. But the law of God always comes from the living vessel. It never comes from a book. So no, I would not follow the book. I fulfill the law because it's a vision. But I do come with a new covenant. This is a better covenant. This is a new covenant. This is the one that gets us in the promised land. This is not the one that makes us look at the promised land or imagine the promised land. That's the only reason why Moses don't have a better covenant than this.
I see. So it will be, or I guess the real question is, what is like a few of those laws that you're bringing now?
Well, one of them is you can't speak on the Bible. That's law. That's law. That's finna be law. Like it's probably be a crime because the Bible instructs this.
Have you ever heard of Sharia law?
No.
That's the Muslim law. Have you ever heard of the canon laws? That's the Catholic laws, right?
No, it's not about those laws. It's about the matter of fact.
So that's what I'm saying. Those are people that try to implement the laws of the Bible to run a society. And
Okay, but we're restoring where the Bible actually came from. That's why they came into Ethiopia to take these biblical manuscripts so they can have authority. That's what we're saying. This is all they have done. This is why the British Empire has King Charles. This is why the Pope say that he's the Pope, because he says he has authority from Peter, Saint Peter. But these are things that they have stolen for
But
them to have authority. But this throne that's in Ethiopia overrides them.
okay, so this is where it gets tricky, right, Mrs. So think of it like this, right? The Catholic Church claimed that Peter is the first pope, and they got revelation directly from Jesus to do what they're doing.
And you
Um,
believe that?
that's what I'm explaining to you. So what I'm looking at it from, this is their truth, and somebody else is giving me a different truth. I
No,
have to
this is their
analyze this.
lie. You don't believe people lie then. You're not gonna let every man be a liar. You're just gonna believe what you read on paper and everything is just what it is.
And then I could draw a conclusion, of course. I can't just say you're a liar and never even look into your information.
But if the Bible says that they change times and laws, because we're talking about laws and we're talking about time, what times and laws did they change? This is in the Bible.
I see. Okay, let's put it like this. If I say every man be a liar,
No,
it
no,
will
explain which times and laws was changed.
the laws were changed when Jesus came, and and Paul wrote that the old covenant is now unalive, and now you go on to with the new covenant, which is with Jesus. So you marry onto the new law. That's what the whole New Testament is about. I know,
Okay,
of course, I know you know
see,
that.
this is what we telling you. Isaiah prophesies this law comes in the last days. This is the thing between letting every man be a liar and not listening to man, because the Bible is against everything that man said. So if you go to Isaiah chapter 2, it tells you where the law going. It said the law will gonna come from Zion, not from the book. Zion is the mountain that Christ is standing upon. So when the prophet Isaiah announced these things and man contradict what these prophets prophesize, this is how what? The devil is deceiving the world. Deception is to go against what? God prophecy. Like a lot of people not deceived and as they dumb, they deceive in not knowing God prophecy. So in the prophesied text, which is the biblical text, it reads, the law comes from the lips of the priest, and Isaiah prophesies it comes in the last days. So this is why we don't believe no man, because they didn't tell us this. So the New Testament is something that's being played out right now. It's not something that's being that was played out 2,000 years ago. And see, that's the misconnection. You know, that's really the misconnection. If you believe the 2,000-year-old story, then you follow the lie. You can't shake it.
I see. I'm not really, so okay, I could believe what I read in the book, but then when you say to me the words of let every man be a liar, it will also include you in that ballpark. Likewise, you will include me. You see what I'm saying to you?
No. That's why Christ, the Bible says, the one that is separated from his brethren. That's also in Hebrews 5:1. God gonna separate someone. God separated Moses from Egypt. God separated Noah from the people because God opened his eyes. When God opened your eyes, you separated from the people. That's why I say, be ye separate. The Bible is about being separate. So I'm not any man. I'm the one that has separated myself from man. That's why I proclaim the things I proclaim, to show my separation. So this is why you got to go to the firstborn. This is why I say let all the angels of God worship him. Because this will be the anointed one that who God has separated, as it tells you in Hebrews 5:1, every high priest that's taken from among men. And I told you earlier, the law comes from the lips of the priest, which is in Malachi. You see what I'm saying? So all this stuff is precepts that go in alignment with what's being said. So although I am a man, I am the separated man, as is foretold in the writings. One was going to be separated from the people to bring God information.
I see. So, do you know the scriptures when they say if a prophet prophesies, it has to come through before, you know?
No, I don't know. Say it again. You didn't really clarify what you were saying.
So it says, but a prophet who predicts peace can only be recognized as a prophet whom the Lord has truly sent when the prophet prediction come true.
Correct.
So what are things that you prophesied that came through?
I'm not prophesying. I'm fulfilling. I'm not a prophet. I come to fulfill the prophecies. First, the Son of Man must be rejected. So also the unsealing of mysteries. I have unsealed mysteries that no one has unsealed. That's my work speaks for itself. You know, I don't have to prove that. If everybody don't believe in Christ, everybody don't walk with Christ. That's why Christ said the mysteries are given to those who walk with me. They're not given to the people because they don't walk with me. You know, so that's really the main point. Like, you're going to know God prophecy by the revealing of mysteries. Because the word of God is a mystery. It's also in the Bible. You know, so these things that I have done, which is let people know who I am, who believe in God. Because you have to believe in God to see me. You can't believe in Jesus. Because I am. So if you believe in God, you're going to see me. You're going to know who I am. You see what I'm saying? That's the same thing about Peter. Like, flesh and blood don't reveal to you who Christ is. A book don't reveal to you who Christ is. God gonna do those things. That's because you believe in God. So God gonna show you the one that God chose. Because God chose Christ. Christ don't wake up one day and bump his head and read a book and say, I'm Christ. No, God actually chose Christ. This is why religious teachings or deception has taught you to believe in deities rather than believe in the spirit, which is God. Or Jesus, or all this Yahshua, all this crap. But you're supposed to be believing in God. So whoever God choose, you will be able to recognize him because you believe in God. You know, so like I say, a lot of people don't, if you follow religion, shit, you follow the Bible. You follow religion, most people. Unless you're walking with Christ right now. But if you follow the Bible, you tied up in religion. Most people. It's a few people that actually read the Bible that's not tied up in religion. That's very few.
I see. So okay, respect. I just wanted a clarification on the Ethiopian part because I don't even the claim that with Yakumle Amlak they failed to prove that they are descendants of Solomon, and then to then get even deeper, then of course that Solomon, there's no evidence of Solomon existing. It's just what we've been told, the same way you're saying that the things in the Bible is all been told. So maybe Solomon is just another person rising up in the within a certain time period or something, the same way as you're predicting the Jesus.
It is. It's the chosen one of David that's gonna build a temple. But the Bible is twofold. Because that's why the Solomon dynasty fell. Because God did choose one from David. But because of what? What Solomon did, he lusted after a bunch of wisdom. He lusted after a bunch of information. AKA women. And what? He lost the wisdom of God. So it's twofold. So at the same time, the one who brings the wisdom, that's going to be Solomon. But remember, the one who brings that wisdom, he going to tell you what? Somebody here is greater than Solomon.
And I think you have...
So when he here, it ain't even about Solomon no more. Because somebody here greater. But go ahead.
And I think you have you don't like the fact that you don't want a monarchy to come back. But a republic is created from the Romans. Like that's their concept on how they have colonized Africa. Africa always had kings. But when we're talking about Ethiopia, their title is King of Kings.
But the system of a monarch is kind of broken because when you have one set of people in power, for a long time.
Is the republic not broken? Is the republic not broken?
But we have the right to vote every 4 years, every 2 years. To
yeah, but you don't have the people who you are voting for is
they're
controlled.
part of one system. They part of one. Everybody you vote for is the part of the system, and the few that's not a part of the system, what have they done to them? Random. You ever heard of unaliving certain leaders? You ever heard of that?
Yeah,
All of a sudden, boom. Because you know what? He wasn't a part of the clique. But everybody else you vote for is a part of the clique. So your vote don't matter, brother. Like, I can't believe you, Timeline. You believe in voting. You really believe in voting, bro?
I don't, man, but I'm saying
You see
within
what
the
I'm saying?
system, you could.
Like,
I'm
so
saying with.
why? so
I'm
why
saying with
fight
the
for it?
republic, but the republic system is better than the monarch because you cannot
No, it ain't,
overthrow.
brother. Because most people that vote
Yeah,
have no knowledge of what's going on.
but yeah,
Most people that
even
go down
now.
to vote, you
Mm-hmm.
know why voting is so big? Because they didn't let black people do it.
Mm.
And look, and you know what black people do when they put their name on it, it start looking cool.
I
So
see.
now vote look cool because now black people can do it.
Fair.
But the Bible is not about voting. The Bible is about who God ordains. It don't come from a vote.
But right now you have King Charles sitting there and we can't vote him out, Yaju. You see it? And he's sitting there and this whole generation will be
But
sitting
who
there.
can vote him out? Not
No
even
one.
vote. Who could just remove him?
No one, because he ordained by God. That's how they look at these things. You see
Brother,
it?
Christ can remove him. Christ can remove all leaders, all corrupted leaders. This is what they're waiting on. Even though they're proclaiming to be Christ, they still prophesize as Christ coming back.
I hear you.
And all of them will bow to him.
Fair. And I will look at that as a
Won't be a
prophecy.
vote.
I will look at that as a prophecy. Yeah,
You damn sure can't go to the polls and be like, hey, this the Christ I want God to choose.
Well, fair. I will look at what you guys just said as a prophecy. See it, and I'm hopeful and wishful for that to come true. Really am. We do need change in the world and everything like that, and someone that's pushing for it in a righteous way. That's always supported by people. Respect the conversation. Thank you guys so much for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Appreciate you for coming up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Enjoy.
All right. Long time coming, Timeline. Long time coming, man. Conversation rules the nation, y'all. But but like I say, y'all, to have this as our foundation right now is huge because of all the seeking of information right now. This is the generation that's seeking information, but they have no foundation. They have nothing to fight for. Just imagine a generation that's on fire. We want the truth. We want the history. We want the facts. We want to stand up. But we ain't got no foundation. So everybody trying to keep their head above water. And you got some people that have built their battleships. And they getting people to get on their battleships. And shoot their information. But at the end of the day, when the water came, the only thing was left was the ark. It's like what? When the smoke clears, who gonna be standing? When that stuff get to going off, who gonna be standing? It's gonna be the ark. I promise you, it's gonna be the ark. They wanted to come on because they was pushing some good
They were?
in the comments.
They probably left.
But you see, y'all, very few people, they already took me out the For You page, and very few people wants to really talk about this information because of how or what it destroys. Man, this stuff destroys years and years of research. You mean to tell me I did all that work and I did it in vain? Man, fuck you, man. That's what people saying.
Peace up,
What's going on,
you guys? My sister, my brother. How are you guys doing?
We good. What's going on?
Good, my brother. Everything good?
Everything
I haven't
good,
been
man.
talking to you
Everything
guys
good.
a while. It's been a while.
Okay.
Good. I just want to say hi, everybody. Yeah, I see. Ethiopia is the biblical island. Is it what the topic is?
Yeah.
Biblical Israel.
Yeah. Yeah, you know it. You know it is true.
Okay, now that's why I say, you know,
I
people
was.
know this, but I don't think we know how important it is to advocate this, because you have people all over the world, especially in America, you know, that's seeking to return back to the biblical land. It's a mass awakening, but we don't know the truth, because a lot of us in America are looking to go to Israel. Even Ethiopians have went to Israel. You see what I'm saying? So at the same time, this information need to be pushed more and more, because people really don't know this.
Yeah, because most of the people are brainwashed by the Babylon system, you know. So that's the reason people don't know about Ethiopia deeply, you know. They try to change our history. They buried our history. That's why we are in this moment. We are in captivity and blinded by the propaganda of this system, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason. That's the reason that people that they don't know about it, the whole story, you know.
I definitely agree, man. I definitely agree, and that's why we up here sharing this information, as you know we always do, man. Just to, you know, just to light the candlesticks of those who have one, you know, and really, you know, help our people get out of darkness, so we can bring heaven on earth. You know, I think a lot of people have
I
mixed
know.
the fact. We waiting for heaven and we waiting for God, when God is waiting for us, as it's written. The harvest is plenty. Like we got so much to harvest right now. The world is littered at our feet, but the workers are few. It's like if the crops begin to spring up right now, like say you had a field of crops, and you got so many crops that has sprung up, but you don't have enough people to go get them, so they gonna go bad. Somebody else gonna grab them. You ain't gonna reap the benefit of your harvest if you don't have enough people to harvest it. So that's kind of how, when it comes to our conscious movement, or any kind of movement that we have, or any kind of movement connected to change, you know, it's really not enough people. And it's a lot of people want to work for change, or it might be a lot of people, but they're not doing the correct work because they don't have the correct foundation. That's why the Bible talk about building on the right foundation. A lot of people have built stuff. It might be look good in Babylon. Like you said, it look good in Babylon, but all that shit coming down because it's not on the correct foundation. You know, and see, these are the simple things and the concepts that we don't really get, because we don't connect God prophecy to the last days and our days at that. You know, God prophecy is so distorted. It happened then, it's going to happen this way, but now it got to happen this way. Nah, it's going to happen just as the way it's written. You know, so, and I don't want to say just as the way it's written, but just as the way it was foretold. Not really more written, because the written is kind of distorted a little bit because of the way people interpret things. But definitely, man, you know, I think definitely you definitely know what's going on, bro. Like I said, we just gotta keep spreading that light.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we appreciate you coming up.
Nice talking to you guys.
Peace, peace.
Thank
Peace,
you.
peace,
Thank
brother.
you.
Likewise.
Bye. You have a good evening.
All right, you do the same, brother. Hit the button. Hit the button by mistake. But yeah, y'all, man. Like I say, man, it's the age of information, y'all. It's the age of everything right now. It's not, you know, it's written. Nothing will be hidden.
Someone said claiming African Americans are descendants from Ethiopians is pretty wild.
Colonizer at his finest, huh? Why would you be mad that African Americans is claiming they from East Africa? Why would you be the only people that carry the name, the N-word, and it ring bells is the African Americans. These are the only people that proclaim the N-word. It's the same word, N-I-G-G-A. It's the same word as N-E-G-U-S. The connections are, man, a mile long. So, but like I say, I wish I had that little clause where it says it has been a significant plan to make African Americans think they come from West Africa. That's why when it come to freedom fighters, most of the freedom fighters were from where? America. Your president, your prime minister, I didn't know he was living in America. The one that took over after Haile Selassie came to America to learn. See what I'm saying? So America has always been involved with Ethiopia, but we don't know the involvement of the African Americans with Ethiopia. So it's a big disconnection there. This is why we share this information. So yeah, it's wild because it's not in like I say, it's not in the textbooks. This stuff is not information that people are speaking about because they don't want you to know. Because once you know this information, now you can play the game. Now you can win. You can't even win without knowing this.
Someone said, I did a DNA test and the results show that I came from West Africa. Who is in control of DNA tests? Like, if they're going to tell the whole world that Ethiopia wasn't colonized, there's a reason why they're going to say that. You know, so they won't connect themselves or involve themselves in the slave trade. But Ethiopia was part of the slave trade.
Oh.
All slave trades.
Bro, how? And this is why we saying Ethiopia is the biblical land. Because the biblical people are scattered, for one thing. So if Ethiopia is the biblical land, then the people are scattered. Then the people have to come back to Ethiopia. The scattered ones have to come back, but who are the scattered people? They're not from Israel. Where are the Israel scattered people?
Hello?
You know, what's going on? Peace, brother.
Peace be upon you too, man.
So you asked some questions in the comments, bro. That's why we invited you up, so we can have a better conversation, you know, than talking through the comments.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah. So your position is the majority of African Americans are Ethiopian descendants?
Correct. Well, East African. I don't want to say exact, you know, because Ethiopia was much bigger than it was. So when you deal with East Africa, you're dealing with Uganda. You're dealing with the land of culture. I mean, of not culture, agriculture.
Yeah, I won't disagree with you. African Americans have had like a deep history with Ethiopia because when Ethiopia was being attacked by Italy for like their attempt to colonize it, African American soldiers signed up to go, you know, try to fight. Didn't like that, but the U.S. government wanted Americans to stay neutral, so they didn't go and fight. But I totally understand where you guys are coming from. But during the slave trade, look, I could be wrong, but the majority of people were of like West African descent. But there were some Ethiopians that were sold, yes, but the majority were West African.
What do I say? That's the lie. That's how the devil has deceived the world. When you deal with the slave trade, cotton came from Ethiopia. So when you deal with the slave trade, you wanted people that know how to grow cotton. You didn't want people that weren't familiar with cotton. The Italians was damn near mostly over the slave trade. They was mostly over the ports. It was the Italians. The Italians was coming heavily into America. The French and the Italians. The French and the Italians was heavily involved in Ethiopia. Out of any African country, they was more involved in Ethiopia. So we just have accepted the lie, but we didn't trace the facts. But if you trace the facts don't lie. Coffee, Ethiopia. What America is known for right now? Coffee. You see what I'm saying? Cotton. So they didn't, you're not gonna go get a slave that don't know how to grow cotton. The Italians can grow cotton, so they heavily wanted people who was familiar with the agriculture because this was the boom of the industrial system. You see what I'm saying? So Tanzania, rice. When you deal with plantations with heavy rice plantations, that's Tanzania. When you look up any other African country that dealt with the rice, that was Tanzania, East Africa, right there by Ethiopia. So, but we was never able to trace the facts. All we could ever do was accept the lie. And that's what a lot of us have done, but I'm speaking from tracing the facts. I'm not speaking from accepting information that has been given to us.
Okay, so let's say So let's say you're right. Where did the facts come from? Why would the lie set up? Let's say you're right.
Well, the lie was to hide the people who was gonna gain back the authority of the world. That was the whole lie. Because
Do you think it was white people who lied, or who was making these lies? Elites or what other?
Well,
groups?
yeah, it was definitely the what do you call it? The imperialism. What do you call it?
Imperialism.
Yeah, of the Europeans. Yeah, it was the higher ups. Yeah, they had created this lie to hide the identity of the people.
Like Queen Victoria.
Who was going to challenge their authority in the world. That's why nobody can challenge the British throne right now, because the only people that can challenge it is hidden.
Okay, so they did it to, they made these lies so the African Americans wouldn't know their history, and so they wouldn't unite. Is this correct, or something
Correct?
like
Yeah,
that?
that's why to stop the rise of a black messiah. The black messiah restores the throne that removes their authority of the world.
Okay, fair play, man. If that's what you believe, all right. But what do you think about African Americans saying they're connected or they're Egyptians? What do you think about that? Is it the same? Are they incorrect or are they correct?
Oh no, yeah, they are. You know, Egypt mean out of worship, so they just don't have understanding. They just again have accepted the things that have been told to them, or the things that they only can reach out and grab. Egyptology was created by Europeans. Before that, it was no such thing as Egyptology. So, but idol worship was heavy in Ethiopia. You know, so this stuff stemmed from us, but at the same time, we don't understand it the way because they have switched it. But yeah, you know, we are not from Egypt. You know, it's no.
Like Egypt is a modern term, so it has a meaning. You know, the meaning is our people being idolized, having multiple idols. But you know,
it's not a place.
Yeah, it's not a place on the map.
Okay, that's interesting. So that's the worldview, I guess. So let's say in the world, let's say America, African Americans, I start identifying as like Ethiopian or Ethiopian descendants. Then you think the Messiah will be born in Ethiopia, or like how does this work?
Well, in the New Testament, David was taken from his land. If you read the New Testament in Matthew, it starts off David being carried away. So the Messiah will come from the scattered people. So he wouldn't rise up in Ethiopia. He would rise up from the scattered people who have been scattered throughout, as the Bible tells you, they've been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth.
He comes out of Babylon.
So when the Messiah would rise up, he would awaken the descendants. And together they will restore David's throne. This is Bible prophecy. This is why the CIA is not trying to stop a Messiah from coming from the sky. They are trying to stop a Messiah from rising, because the Bible prophecy is the Messiah is coming from among the people as being ordained by God.
And then I'm assuming when the prophecy is fulfilled, the world order will shift, and the descendants will claim their rightful throne. Is that what you're telling me? Is that
correct? Correct.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting worldview, I'm assuming, but so let's say, so you don't believe in DNA tests. So if someone says if someone takes a DNA test, they're African American, they say I'm majority West African. You don't think that's real?
No, it's fake. The DNA test is back up the lie. The first African American church was built in 1804. You know what it was connected to?
Slavery, I think. Something like
that. But it's connected to Abyssinia, which is Ethiopia.
Oh yeah, that's the old term for it. Man.
But this is the first African American church in 1808. So it has nothing to do with West Africa. You see what I'm saying? So these things have been, of course, they want us to say we come from West Africa because we never proclaim the things we need to proclaim to even fight in the race. That's why when it comes to African people, we're not even in a race. You can do it. You can do what you want to us. You can lock us up how you want to. You can unalive us how you want because we don't have nothing. West Africa never reached out for us like Ethiopian kings. Matter of fact, the last Ethiopian king gave us land we know nothing about, and the one before him, which was a woman, she told us to come back home. We don't know nothing about these things.
Okay. Well, this has been very interesting. Would you say so? You're saying to me, West Africans have no place in the revolution when the new king or the new leader is born or something that they have.
Well, it's not that they don't have a place. That's just not what the African Union is not in West Africa. The African Union is in Ethiopia for a reason.
Yeah.
Because the majesty is in Ethiopia. So it has nothing to do. It's like to say the president gonna be in Washington, D.C., but California has nothing to do, with the president. No, like that's why it's the King of Kings. This throne stretches out. So yes, anybody in Africa gonna play a big role in the revolution. It's not where the throne is at.
Okay, so they're not going to be part of like the throne, yeah. But what would they do? Are they going to help you guys? How are they going to help you guys? Are they going to be neutral?
Yeah, of course they're gonna help us because they're gonna be unified. Like that's why I say the African Union is in Ethiopia
To unify
Africa. So they're gonna be a part of the unification. So like that's when we truly work together. That's when we truly build together. That's when we start trading in the right way. Like everything shifts to righteousness when this throne is set back up because this throne is not set up because of emotions. This throne is set up to bring in the principles and the wisdom and knowledge of God, to bring healing to the nations. So all African countries are going to play a big part in the revolution because they're going to be unifying with the throne to bring, this light to the world.
Wow, that's very interesting. Well, I'm pretty sure something was said along these lines in the Caribbeans and Jamaica. They were saying this. The Rastafarians were saying this too, right? When Haile Selassie he was saying he was going to be some sort of like new, he was going to reshape the world order or something like that.
Haile Selassie never said that.
No, not word for word, not word for word, but not word for word, but something like along those lines, like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the Jamaicans, Haile Selassie didn't say that. Haile Selassie say David will defeat Goliath. Haile Selassie didn't put himself on a pedestal the way the Rastafarians put him on a pedestal.
Oh yeah, the Rastafarians said that.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Like the things that they proclaim, Haile Selassie never proclaimed those things. They say that. Yeah. But Haile Selassie proclaimed that David will defeat Goliath in the 19th century. So Haile Selassie understood the prophecy. He understood he wasn't fulfilling prophecy. He understood that very well. He also said, don't look at me as a deity. I am no deity. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff, the way the Rastafarians and the way the world look at things is totally wrong. But the one that was prophesied was going to set up a kingdom and restore. He wasn't going to do what Haile Selassie did. As a matter of fact, he wasn't going to even be in Haile Selassie's position. That's why I told you about Matthew, how Christ comes from the scattered people. And Haile Selassie wasn't of the scattered people.
How would this new world order be? So let's say it happens. So how is this going to happen? So is it going to be? How would that take place?
Well, it's taking place as we speaking, but you got two resurrections. You got those that resurrect with Christ to do the work of God. Then you got the second resurrection when everybody see, and everybody witness the anointed one because it's going to be televised. Like this stuff is going to be shown to the world. This is not something that's just so. A lot of the process and a lot of the unseen things are happening now, as far as waking up the people, getting people aware. All the power shifting. Like the powers that be know this. They way ahead of the game when it comes to the people. So all this stuff is shifting for the big main event when the world find out at one time. But right now, there's just certain people who God have ordained that's finding these things out so they can prepare themselves, to go out and finish this job. Which is, again, you got to throw the false information out of your mind so you can be reborn again into the image of God, into the knowing of God, into God principles. All this stuff that's been happening these few years.
Okay, so this is the worldview. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ethiopians and African Americans are one people. The imperial whites in America and throughout Europe have taken an extreme effort to deceive African Americans of their original identity. In a long enough period of time, through the scattered descendants of Ethiopians, a king or a ruler or some prophecy, or something like that, will be fulfilled. And when his time is born, and he will somehow lead the reverse of hierarchy. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Sound like AI.
Theory.
But I'm saying, that's the whole Daniel prophecy that's the whole Bible prophecy. As in the days of Noah, will it be in the days of the Son of Man? So it's about the Son of Man that God chosen that's going to restore the knowledge and the wisdom and the principles of God back into the earth.
What do you? I'm assuming you're having conversations like this with other African Americans, right? What do they say? Do they agree with you or disagree? How do
They say the same thing the Jews. They say the same thing the Jews, which is Christ's brothers, told him. The Son of Man must first be rejected by the chief priests, scribes, and Pharisees. So they basically say the same thing that they say in the scriptures. It's like this information is a virgin to the world. No man has touched it. It's virgin information. It's pure though. So they look at it strange. They deny it. So a lot of them come back and be like, man, first I ain't see what you was saying. Now I see. So it's the same story as the biblical story. They definitely, fight it, and some reject it. Some catch it at the snap of a fingers.
Because you got to also realize the whole world was taught Christ's story, but the falsely way. So most of them are waiting for Christ to come out of the sky and destroy the earth and kill these people and all these things. But, it's made from parables. It's of allegory. So Christ has to give you the understanding, just like as you read in the Bible, the disciples had to get the understanding from Christ. But they already have their own understanding.
They didn't believe.
Yeah, they have their own understanding just from what they've been taught.
Oh, that's very interesting, yeah. But yeah, it's an interesting worldview, I would say. So, but it's sorry. This is the first time I'm hearing this. I'm just processing it. Yeah.
Well, are you part of a religion or anything like that?
Well, not anymore. I used to grow up Ethiopian Orthodox.
Oh, okay. Are you Ethiopian?
Yeah, I am. I'm Hara, and the other half is Oromo.
Okay. So I recently made a video about the missionaries coming in Ethiopia and spreading their European doctrine of Christianity, because they had a different understanding than the Ethiopian Jews at the time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So this doctrine is part of what most people believe in today, even the Orthodox. Is that Christ came 2,000 years ago, is about Christ coming, is in the sky, and he's this magical figure when he's just a son of man that sits on the throne of David to govern the world. He's a leader for the people.
Yeah. What do you think about, especially in America, like those like portraits of Jesus in churches? They give him blue eyes, and what do you think about that? Do you think that's terrible?
They changed the color of Christ, but I think people in America only deal with that. They get so stuck on the color, they don't realize the other lies that was attached to that Christ. So even if they change back Christ to black, they're still going to connect that Christ with the 2,000-year-old information.
I see that. Yeah. Well, thank you for the conversation. It's been very interesting. Hope you have a great day, guys.
All right, peace to you. I don't know who this is. Let's see. What do you have to say about the IFA in Nigeria? What is that? Is that there's something about the Nigerian Christians? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, definitely check out the website. Check out yajuju.com. We have a petition, a declaration, a royal notice for the judgment against the Roman Catholic Church. If y'all got questions, come and request, because I will want you to explain yourself if I don't understand.
Hello?
Yeah, peace. You kind of sound low,
Is this better?
a little bit.
I was asking what do you guys have to say about Ifa in Yoruba, in Nigeria, Yoruba?
Ifa, is that like some type of can you explain what it is? I think I've heard of it. It's like some type of witchcraft or
Yes, it's an ancestral practice with the Risha,
uh-huh.
and it's just an ancestral practice where they venerate and honor their ancestors and stuff like that. I want to get your opinion on
Well, I would say like a lot of our forefathers did evil when it comes to God. So a lot of I know some Ifa people believe in multiple gods. And that's part of the deception. And in raising people up, raising people from the unalive is really about the mindset of people, not the physical. It's about the mindset of the living people who are spiritually dead.
it. Okay, because in Ifa, they don't believe in multiple gods. They believe in one God. They believe in one creator, and the Orishas are the assistants to the creator, right? So they assist the creator. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, they make a spread of like things to give to the creator, like they create their own ceremony type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how you worship God. You worship God from the spirit that comes, spirit and truth, the spirit that comes from the anointed one.
What I want to ask is, I was trying to see. I just want to get you guys' opinion on it.
You kind of sound low. I'm sorry.
I wanted to get you guys' opinion about it.
He was talking about Ifa.
Okay, go ahead.
It's like that. Ifa in Nigeria, witchcraft, and what's your opinion on it?
Go ahead. Go ahead. What you was?
That's what he's saying.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know. That's what you want to ask.
that's what I was asking.
I don't know too much about Ifo.
It's like when they make their own like ceremony and gift to God.
Oh yeah, but see that's what a lot of our people was doing it. Not just in Nigeria, even in Ethiopia, all through Africa. And still to this day we carry those traditions. But those are definitely not the correct, um, traditions to follow when it comes to God.
So, would you say that the correct way is the biblical way with the altar, with the Holy Tabernacle and all that? Would you say?
Well, it all has been watered down. The Holy Tabernacle is the meeting place. It's the vessel that God is dwelling in. That will represent as the Holy Tabernacle. So a lot of this stuff just have been, watered down into material things. That's how you get the witchcraft. Like, God say you're gonna write it on your, like, the Bible is witchcraft actually because it's spell words. These words put false images in your mind. That's witchcraft. You see what I'm saying? The word of God is spoken and manifested through a spoken word and actions. That's how you see God. You don't see God through spelling words or altars that people build or chants. You don't see God that way. You see what I'm saying? So all that's a form of witchcraft. You got different levels of, but it's all a form of witchcraft, even the Bible. That's why you don't reveal God through a book. And anybody that's doing that, they're using witchcraft.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So it's really just that simple at the end of the day. So you have many different forms of witchcraft that's still being practiced. People just try to demonize, certain forms of witchcraft.
Well, that's all I had to ask. I appreciate your time.
All right, no problem, no
Peace,
problem.
peace.
Appreciate you coming up. I got them donuts.
Oh, okay. What's in the woods? Nobody wants to come and defend their biblical Israel, okay? I'd rather argue about the Bible. You're not supposed to do witchcraft at all. Like, witchcraft is not what is of God. If you're asking what's the real worship of God, it's following God in spirit and in truth. But how do you get the truth? That's the question. You get the truth from Christ. Everybody's skipping the Son of Man. You have to go through the Son of Man. No, it's not in the Bible. Like, these things are not in, like, it's written about in the Bible, but we're talking about reality. Like, in reality, God chooses a Son of Man that's among us. So the Son of Man will be among us, and he will be speaking the Spirit that will free the captives.
You know why we don't create our own government? We lied to. You know why we don't go back and build? We lied to. So the lies hold you captive. When you told the truth, you break the chains. It's the parable. But we no longer are just held captive. We have iron yokes on our neck because the lie is just that strong. So now we have something that's harder to get off our necks. It's harder to get off our mind. It's like an iron. It's like a burn. They burnt it on our minds through television, through preaching. Now they got you reading. You see what I'm saying? So all this stuff have burnt these images and these thoughts on your mind that's harder. So it's an iron yoke around your neck, which is something that's way harder to get off.
Africans aren't Gentiles. Gentiles are the unbelievers. So there's a lot of African Americans that are Gentiles. There's a lot of, you could say Africans are Gentiles. There's a lot of people all over the world Gentiles. Because the people are scattered. They're not the people of the promise. Because they don't even believe in the promise. They believe in a fairy tale.
The sky gonna crack. The sky is gonna crack. But we here to tell you, y'all, it has already. But it ain't the one up there. It's the code. We cracked the code, y'all. So if you want the code to be cracked, you know where to get the combination from, y'all.
And brother, we don't need to have 1,000 words, more than 1,000 words of our vocabulary. The English words, like, we don't need, like, it's, the truth is simple. We don't need difficult words to explain what we're talking about.
So basically he's saying you can't speak the truth in slang? You saying you can't speak the truth in slang? You gotta have
the European intelligence.
Matter of fact, what that verse there where it says, I didn't come to you, brother, with enticing words. I didn't come to you, brother, with enticing words to speak the gospel Bible verse. It's in Corinthians chapter 2.
I'll bring this up so you just...
1 Corinthians chapter 2. That's the one that said that?
No.
Oh.
And peace to you, guests. We're just going to get back with you after Yaju reads the scripture.
If you go to 1 Corinthians 2 and 1, it says, and our brethren did not came to you. I'm sorry, and our brethren, when I came to you, came not with excellent of speech or wisdom, declaring unto you the testimony of God. So we don't come with enticing words to entice you to believe. It's the simple, raw, uncut truth. You can believe it or you don't believe it. It's still the truth. But we got to guess, y'all. So what's going on to you, brother? Peace, peace.
Yeah. What's going on?
I'm good.
So, what is your topic today?
Ethiopia is the biblical Israel.
Like, what do you mean by that? Like,
what do I mean?
From the Bible?
It's another biblical book. Yeah, I mean from the Bible.
I think, like, I don't see in the Bible mentions Ethiopia as Israel. Because I think you're talking about the Old Testament, right?
No, I'm talking about the land of Israel that you know of today is a fake land that they created in 1948 to deceive the world. But the actual biblical land and what the Bible is speaking of is Ethiopia. The Bible is not connected to Israel. The Bible is connected to Ethiopia.
Yeah, that's a very huge claim.
Well,
because there are evidence, historical evidence, you know.
Okay, well, can you read this for?
Historical evidence. Yeah. Was a period in Ethiopia. Yeah, this is the period where it was a period of war between each other in Ethiopia.
I know, but brother, that's connected to the biblical book of Judges. It's not connected to Israel history. It's connected to Ethiopian history. And guess when this stuff happened? In the 18th, I don't know why they're showing. In the 18th and 19th century, which is the 17 and 1800s. So the book of Judges is talking about what was happening in Ethiopia in the 17 and 1800s. I don't think we understand what kind of information, like we haven't processed this yet. Like, hold up. This Bible, which is the book of Judges, is in the Old Testament. Shit, the book of Judges in the Old Testament. This is down there in the Torah. But you mean to tell me these things was happening in the 17 and 1800s? That stuff in the Bible? This is what Google is telling me? Where did Google get this from? Where did Google get the information that the history that was, or the things, or the events that was happening in the book of Judges was happening in the 1700s, 1800s? Shit, King James wrote this in 1611. So that can't be true then. So all the lies begin to fall, like all the stuff that they told that strengthens the lie, Babylon comes down. All the stuff they babble about, it comes falling down when you tell the truth.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a sentence, a verse versus a lot of historical evidence. Because if you go to Israel, you find a lot of things that are in the Bible also, like um, where is the crucifixion, the wall of Jericho. This is historical evidence, the places that went through,
Brother,
and you can seem to find, like, for example, can you tell me where is Sodom and Gomorrah in Ethiopia?
brother, Sodom and
Yeah.
Gomorrah was the era of princes where they was worshiping false gods. That's what Sodom and Gomorrah. It says the kings of Israel is like Sodom and Gomorrah. That's more allegory. The walls of Jericho are still standing. We knocking them down right now. The walls being knocked down. So this is allegory that they made literal. Again, to strengthen their lie. There's no such thing as a literal wall of Jericho. There's no such thing. It's a metaphor to showing you what you got to knock down so you can see further. These walls keep you enclosed. So you can't see further than you need to see. But it's the shout. It's the shout of the truth that's going to make these walls fall.
And you got to also understand, like, the Roman Empire, the British Empire came into Ethiopia, stole biblical manuscripts, translated it, and then put all these names on the map. Put these names in they call it the Old Jerusalem. You know why they call it You know why they call it the Old Jerusalem? So they can create a new Jerusalem, and now they have a state of Israel.
Okay. What's your main point? I mean, even let's say that is true, where are you going to this? Like, what's your point?
What's the
Because
point? That means the biblical people are scattered, right? According to the Bible, the biblical people are not in their homeland. They are scattered. So
okay.
according to the Bible, the biblical people have to come back to their homeland. And see, the lion have to come back to Ethiopia. The lions that were scattered, they got to come back. And that's how Ethiopia and Africa going to be restored. It's an ancient saying, until the Jews get back in their land, is no peace on earth.
Yeah, I mean, that's not entirely. I think this is made up because.
Well, brother, do you have your Bible?
Yeah. I have my own Bible, but it's in Amharic, which is the original version.
Okay, well, we'll love to hear these scriptures in Amharic.
Can you go to Amos?
Amos, yeah. Amos,
9 and
chapter
7.
what?
Chapter 9.
This is from Old or New Testament?
Oh.
Okay.
It's towards the back of the Old Testament. Amos. A-M-O-S.
Okay, I found it.
It's
Which
chapter 9.
verse in?
Chapter 9, verse 7. You can start at 7.
Wait a second. So you guys, which Bible do you guys follow?
We have the Ethiopian translated Bible.
Okay. Do you guys know the numbers in Amharic? Because it's very difficult to find the page.
I don't know. No, I don't.
I know somebody put it in the comments. They just put prophecy of Amos. But if someone in the comments that can speak Amharic or write Amharic, can you put 9 and 7 in the comments? I'll look it up too.
Oh, you know how to read Amharic.
Great.
So you don't know how to read Amharic numbers?
No, numbers are no.
That's deep. So what you saying? You can read the letters, but you can't read the numbers?
Yeah.
That's
Because
deep. That's deep.
yeah, I know, but the
Somebody
numbers
put it.
we were.
Somebody put it in the chat. Oh, they just put prophecy of them. But can you put 9 and 7? Like 9.
Damn. That's shit. I'm still
The
stuck on
numbers
that.
are in geese. Oh, the numbers are in
Oh,
geese.
now it makes sense. Okay. Amharic
in
numbers
Geese.
are in Geese. So
Yeah,
Amharic is a watered down version of Geese? Or is a spin-off of Geese?
So it's like a U and then a Z. So the 9 looks like a upside down A. I'll just post it in the
Okay.
chat.
Amharic gotta be a watered down version of
It'll be
Geese.
geese, yeah.
Cause there's no way they'll be using Geese. That's the
I put it in the chat right there. If you can see it. Do you see it?
Yeah, okay, I saw it. Okay.
Oh, shit, if they got a Geese. Oh. Amharic is something probably everybody can get. Especially like if the colonizer wanted to learn Geese, they used the Amharic version. They didn't use the Geese version because it was probably too hard, too complicated.
Yeah, right. They stole a lot of things from Ethiopia, you know? Many things. Okay, I found it. Okay, so chapter 9 verse
7.
Verse 7.
6, 7, okay. And it goes, children of Israel, are you like children of Ethiopia? The translation, yeah, but
Okay.
is in Amharic.
Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah, but he's referring the people of Israel as Ethiopians.
That's what we telling you. So the one they created in 1948, it didn't exist until 1948. The original is Ethiopia. The created is the land of Israel. That's why we telling people. That's the whole point. Ethiopia and Israel always was connected. But Israel is a people that dwelt in Ethiopia. Israel is not a land. That's where the confusion is at. So it say, oh, children of Israel, are you not like the Ethiopians unto me? So the children of Israel is not the land of Israel. It's a people. And it's a people that actually believe in God amongst their own people. Because it's a lot of our people who don't really believe in God. So the Israelites or the Israel is those that actually believe in God among the people. And that's another distinction that we don't really go into when we talk about Israel. So even when you talk about Israel as a people, you're not talking about the whole East Africa, because a lot of East Africans didn't believe in God. That's why you have the Christian Jews or the Ethiopian Jews that was getting out of Ethiopia because they was being persecuted for what they believed in.
Yeah, like, but that's not the historic event. The historic event was between Menelik. I'm sure you know that. When Menelik and Saba, no, when Saba and Solomon had a child, Menelik, Jews went to him to Ethiopia, and from there they were called the Ethiopian Jews. And yeah, plus, like, from my thought, what I learned during the Moses, during their way out of Egypt, the people of Israel were very against Moses, against God. So God said to him, let me give you another people, because Israel are not obeying, are not respecting God. Was he referring was, let me give you another people. That people were Ethiopians to give him.
No. He says, I'm going to give you
Yeah.
over to your enemies. I'm going to give you over to a generation that's going to want, a nation that's going to want all things. I'm going to send a nation on you from a far distant land. You see what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
nowhere in the facts where Ethiopian has taken over the churches of Israel. And Ethiopia's been going to Israel. In that case, Israel becoming Ethiopia. So Ethiopians don't control Israel. Israel was going to be under the control of other nations. This what the Bible clarifies. They was going to be the lords of the earth. There was going to be, because like you said earlier, they was going against God. Like, a lot of people got to understand the reason why Israel is in a condition, because they went against God. But Israel was going to be in control with other nations. Abraham's descendants was going to be in a strange land that's not theirs. So the children of Israel is not in Ethiopia. You see what I'm saying? So God didn't give the children of Israel over to the Ethiopians. We can't, that's a lie. The children of Israel is returning back to Ethiopia, and again to restore the throne of God, to unify Africa, and to heal the world. That's all. This is God prophecy. All this is in the Bible. Of course, it don't say Africa, but it says restore, it says rebuild, and it says in the times of old. So the reason why we refer to the times of old is to bring back the remembrance. As it tell you, the Spirit gonna teach you all things and bring you into remembrance. These are things we've forgotten. The conquering lion is those that walk with lions. It's just that simple. Ain't no lions in Israel. Shit, like we gotta. The Bible it talk about these things for a reason. Like it's all in our face. But like I said, the book clarifies the devil has been deceived. That's why we still come up here day in and day out, because we know our brothers are deceived. But if they would accept the truth, then the blind man would say, "Now I see." But the blind man already spoke. You see what I'm saying? So, but these are things that these are eye-opening things. These are not things that you can research. You can't research what we're telling you right now. That's why It says, my sheep hear my what? Voice. So those who follow God follow a voice. Those who don't follow God reject the voice. So when they rejected Moses, they rejected God. When they rejected Noah, they rejected God. Everybody in the Bible had a voice. So you don't follow God by history. You don't follow God by words on paper. You don't follow God by looking in the sky, images or paintings. You follow God by a voice. This is the real Israel. You see what I'm saying? So this is what we lost up in. We really lost in translation. That's really what we lost in translation. But again, this is the simple truth, brother. Like Lion King. What the hell you think they get? They ain't get Lion King from Israel. Every Disney movie is about Ethiopia. Ethiopians don't even know it.
Harry Potter. No.
Harry Potter, all this shit is about Ethiopia. None of this shit is about Israel or Jerusalem. It's all about the real Israel. It's all about the real Jerusalem. And that would be according to the way y'all look at it, Ethiopia. These are facts. The Bible, the only country that got their name on the Bible is who? It ain't no Israel Bible. It ain't no Jerusalem Bible. It's an Ethiopian Bible. Enoch, before all the prophets. What is Enoch? An Ethiopian. Like all these evidence will be like, Ethiopia still ain't the biblical.
The oldest Bible is Ethiopian. The oldest language is Ge'ez. That's in the Ethiopian Bible. But what's in Israel? What's in that Middle East Israel that can justify it being the biblical Israel?
You can't find the kings. The kings in the Bible. Well, what about the kings in Ethiopia?
In real life. What about the kings in real life? Who are the kings in real life?
You can't find none in Israel.
People only go to the text. They can only go to the text. But with Ethiopia, we don't only go to the text.
The things that happen in Ethiopia back up the text.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things you said, I agree the most, but you have to, because I think you're seeing it from the Old Testament, because you have to see from both. If you see from New and Old, the picture is more clear for you guys, because in Israel, it happened the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. After that, we all won, he said. We all won. So Jews rejected the Jews rejected God, and those who accepted it, like Ethiopia was one of the first Christian nations to accept it and thrived. So yeah, I think you have to see from both perspectives, both views. Just it says.
Well, I think we are looking at it from both perspectives. We're just not looking at it from the same perspective, because the New Testament is happening now, where Christ is raised up from the descendants that scattered. Like, if you read the book of James, right? If you read the book of, if you can go to the book of James in the New Testament, I don't know if y'all got the New Testament in, but if you go to James chapter 1, and it's in the New Testament, James chapter 1, verse 1. It's the first verse. And I want you to read what it says. It's not talking to the people in the land. The New Testament is talking to a particular people. That's today. So if you read James 1 and 1.
Yeah. Well, it says
You want me to read it, or you got it?
Yeah, I got it, but it's Aramaic, so maybe read it your translation and I'll check it.
Okay, it says, James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. So the Bible is talking about the people that were scattered abroad. This is so my perspective of the New Testament is happening right now. Christ walking the earth, and those who have accepted his information are speaking to the scattered ones. This is happening right now in the New Testament. Because this is the time where David tabernacle or David ruins, the things that belong to David is ruined. Christ will come to restore those things back in the earth. This is the Bible prophecy. This is the New Testament. But remember, colonizers stole these things and gave us their interpretation. So now Christ ain't a king of kings, a lord of lords. He's a deity that comes out the sky. But the true original kings of kings and lord of lords were sons of man. Sons of men, as the Bible describes. A son of man. Who, when his brothers look at him and be like, nigga, you ain't no son of God. That's all the book is about.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Like if you said this, then how come you said that the Bible is changed, it's corrupted, right?
No, I don't say the Bible is corrupted. The stuff you was told is corrupted. That's like the Bible don't have no dates in them. Them dates was given to you by man. Like right now, when James is speaking to the 12 tribes right now, James is not giving you a date. It's just in a book. But what has been done, dates have been given to these things that don't come from the Bible. They don't come from Christ. They come from the people who stole the Bible. So as somebody that has been enlightened, is telling you, no, the book of James is not something that happened in history. The book of James is happening right now. But you won't believe that because you have accepted what? The things of the colonizer. The colonizer put the dates of the Bible. I just said that's the simplest way I can say it. The colonizers put dates on the Bible.
You would be right if Ethiopia were colonized. If that the case is, I will believe you. But since my country was not colonized, and all the teaching were in Amharic and Ge'ez, which can never change it, we have, like you said, our numbers, our own dates, and our own teachings. I mean, there are from European there are differences. So how can you say it's changed from the colonizer? Because our country was not colonized. Nothing was changed from the Bible, because the colonizer cannot read Amharic or Ge'ez, understand. Only the priest, even the people cannot read. Only the priest can understand Ge'ez, translated, and maintain it throughout the century. So that's where I'm coming from.
Well, you gotta look at it like this, brother. I just want to say
my Bible was in English, I will believe you. If my Bible was in English, I would believe you. But it's in Ge'ez. Ge'ez is ancient language which was never understood, because colonize meaning even changing your language also.
But brother, it's a reason why Ethiopians. But it's a reason why Ethiopians don't speak Ge'ez, brother, so you won't understand it. That's the reason. Most Ethiopians don't. So the mysteries is only known by the people don't know the mysteries. It's the people who speak Ge'ez and have studied these things. These are the people that know the mysteries. This is why the Roman Catholic Church, brother, this is why the Roman Catholic Church has so much influence of the priests in Ethiopia. It's a well-known fact. And you have to look at it in this way, bro. When we talk about dates, the same Jesus that the Ethiopians preach, whether it's Ge'ez, Orthodox, Amharic, whatever, it's the same Jesus they deceived my grandmother about. It's the same Jesus that every person who is colonized believe in, the same Jesus the Ethiopians believe in. The Europeans colonized us using Jesus. So if we believe in the same Jesus, guess what, brother? We both are colonized, no matter what part of the region I live at. You see what I'm saying? So that's what this is what we fail to realize. We'll say these things, oh, they use Jesus to colonize us. The Ethiopians turn around and say, oh yeah, I believe in Jesus. The same one we believe in? Yeah. Well, shit. How can you call me colonized and you not colonized? We got the same religion. We got the same belief. And they use religion to colonize us. That's almost, like I say, it's really not understanding what colonization really means. That's what it really comes down to. You know, not fully, truly having an understanding of what colonization is. Go ahead.
First, if you're coming from the dates, Christianity was before European colonization. Before European had Christianity, you have to understand the dates. So it was not the same. We were the first one to accept Christianity, while the Europe were still in other gods, were pagans, right? So that's the real teaching. Plus, you have to go to the fullness of truth, because some is partial. Even if our teaching is not whole from the European or from others, is a bit different, because it has the wholeness of truth. That's the difference. And
Christianity.
and yeah. So
no, we're not saying that.
Are you saying Christianity came from Ethiopia before the Europeans?
Yeah, before it came, is one of the first countries to be Christian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
but we
how?
agree on
the
that.
Bible,
No, it was a different. It's a different Christianity. You got to realize the Christianity that the people believe in today is not the same, because when the missionaries came to Ethiopia, they were giving them the false Christianity, the European Christianity,
a different Christianity,
a different doctrine. This is what even Tedros was saying.
Yeah, like Tedros locked up the missionaries, right? Ethiopian chief then locked these missionaries up. Like let's look deep into what really truly went down. The king locked up the missionaries. We're not gonna say Tedros. The king of Ethiopia at the time locked up the missionaries, not the chief, not the other princes. The other princes, even the church at the time, became friends with the missionaries. Hear me out. This is in 1868. The missionaries started coming there in the early 1800s. They have created friends in 1859 with the church. Why would you become friends with people that's changing your version of Christianity? Only because you have accepted their version of Christianity, so you become friends. Now, Tedros locked these missionaries up, right? British, how many people the British sent? What's the number?
Yeah,
British sent multiple nations not to fight Ethiopia, but to fight who? The one that locked the missionaries up. Now, after Tedros, Johannes made friends with the British.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so. When this is what we tell you about the changing of the meaning of Christian in Ethiopian history, in modern day Ethiopian history, rather than but accepting the colonizers. We walking down the timeline of how these things was accepted. You see what I'm saying? Tedros was locking these people up because they was changing their version of Christianity. But if all of a sudden these people are friends, once Tedros passed, then what? Ethiopia accepted the false Jesus that the Europeans have given to the world. These are facts. This is why we all believe in the same Jesus. This is why we have this document. This from a book. Let me read what it
It's
says.
from the Siege of Magdala. It says they were making large professions of Christianity. I should like to know their interpretation of Christian doctrines. It is different from ours. Their spreading of the gospel seems to be the making of wars and the slaying of men in every part of the world, from New Zealand to China, from the East Indies to Ashanti and our country.
We are dark. They are fair.
We are dark. They are fair. They call themselves civilized and us uncivilized. Do these things make all the difference? Yet I ask, what have we done to offend this great Christian nation? At least our civilized invaders might have considered it courteous to inform us why we are to be killed.
Now, this is a letter from Tedros. This is a letter. You see what I'm saying? So if missionaries been coming to Ethiopia since the 1800s, the church, we know what the British did in Haile Selassie time. See what I'm saying? So this stuff proves that Ethiopia has not kept their ancient tradition. This is why, again, Ethiopians believe in the same Jesus that they colonized us with. It's just that simple.
And you gotta also, I'm sorry, I just wanted to say, you also gotta realize the connection between Israel and Ethiopia, and the British Empire, because when we talk about a college being in Rome City, in the Vatican City, like, why is there an Ethiopian college for priests in the Vatican City in Rome? Like, those are things you need to question, Ethiopia about.
I mean, if you go, I mean, the language, because how come the language is not changed? Now, the main problem is the language, because if it's in Giz and the colonizer don't understand Giz, how can it be changed?
Well, then
How can the
that's why
teaching
you
be
have
changed?
Ethiopian invaders as well. Just like you had
So,
Johannes was working for the British Empire. So you don't think that they're gonna get translators and translate what's going on in the Bible and then translate it to English? You get translators.
I mean,
Every
now,
Ethiopian wasn't
because
called a
you have to
monarch.
understand the context. I mean, yeah, I mean, during the Johannes, there were kings. Kings were war between each other, and they were fighting for power. So Johannes may be allied with the British to have more guns and to beat his adversary, King Tewodros.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it was never about biblical stuff like that or the Bible changing. No, it was mainly political, and that's it. And
Well, I would say it was,
yeah,
maybe it wasn't for Johannes, but Johannes doesn't know what the British Empire true mission is when it comes to Ethiopia. All they could tell them is what he wants and what they need. Because they went into Ethiopia and stole biblical manuscripts when they invaded Tedros II, right? It wasn't just about killing people. It wasn't just about getting back their hostages. It was manuscripts that they stole from Magdala.
And then the thing about it, how many people they sent to get the hostages? So the people that were spreading their version of Christianity was important. You know how much money they spent? They built the whole city. So this had to do with the Bible. All of it had to do with the Bible. That's the part we throw out, and we not able to connect the dots no more. Because if you don't start connecting the dots from Ethiopia and the biblical perspective, you're gonna always follow their narrative. And like I say, it's a reason why Ethiopia got their name on the Bible. It ain't by coincidence. Like that don't happen by coincidence. It's a reason why Ethiopia got the oldest Bible, because they have the original. So the original writings come from Ethiopia. Didn't nobody bring Christianity to Ethiopia? You see what I'm saying? That's the birthplace of Christianity. This is what the world finna find out. Now I say, we gon' of course, the lie has made us fear the truth, or the lie has made us not really want to accept the truth. But at the same time, the truth can never be refuted. That's why we showed you, Google told you that the era of princes that every Ethiopian especially can look up and verify it was no king. And then all of a sudden a king came. That's the book of Judges. Where did Google is making up lies now? No, that's 100% fact. You can't do that with no other landmass. The book of Judges should have been in Israel. It should have been in Jerusalem. The book of Judges should not have happened in Ethiopia if Ethiopia not the biblical land. It'll be impossible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, from, I mean, you guys are, you can't find me evidence for that, you know, because what I'm hearing is your opinions.
Brother, do you know about the era of the
Because
princes in
you
Ethiopian
guys,
history?
you're saying things.
No, I'm saying, do you know Ethiopian history?
Yeah,
They have a book called The Era of Princes.
yeah.
Okay, that comes.
So yeah, you're saying that
Okay,
this
so
ties with
brother,
the,
but that comes from the book of Judges. That's evidence. Like the throne, the King
I
of
mean,
Kings.
does it,
Does it what?
I mean, is it the same as the find in the Bible, the prince, the era of princes? Because if I look the book of
He
Judges
didn't read
and
it. He
the
did.
prince,
See, brother, you didn't read it. It says the era of judges, the era of princes. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same term. The age of princes, etc., taken from the biblical book of Judges, was a period in Ethiopian history. This is evidence, bro. Like this, I don't know what evidence you need.
I mean,
And when you go look up the book of Judges, you're not looking up something that happened in 1200 BCE. What date is that? We know what it was, 17, what it says, the age of princes, what it says, 17, no, you looked it up. It was like from 1785 to 1855 was the era of princes. If anybody go type in the era of princes in Ethiopia, it's gonna give you a timeline.
I don't know why it's not telling me.
It's not telling you no more. It's like
1770?
Yeah, like 1770 to 1855 to Tedros II rose to become king. You see what I'm saying? And the reason why they only gave him the second, because they always say it was the first. 1769 to 1855 is the era of princes. You know, this is the time where you have the beginning of the kings.
It says, ending with Emperor Tedros out II rise, who unified the nation, marking the end of the age of princes.
Which would be a king. This is Israel without, the Bible's about Israel being without a king. And then Saul rose up, but God say what? I'm not gonna choose Saul, which is simply of the bloodline. That's why Saul come from Benjamin. That's the whole thing of Benjamin and Joseph being born. But that's a whole other teaching, you know. But Saul is a Benjamite that come from the same person Joseph, the same woman Joseph come from. That's why Saul became king first, but Saul wasn't worthy to rule. So all these kings would represent Saul. They represent all. Like I said, all this is just figures of speech, y'all. That we really, man, we really don't get.
It's too much.
You cannot deny it, man. You can't deny it. What's going on? Peace, peace.
Peace, peace.
So y'all, man, we gotta understand, y'all, that like knowing Ethiopia is the biblical land is man, it's so important. Because you can look up the age of princes and know what happened. Look up the age of princes that happened in 1200 BCE. Look it up. See, tell me what you find. Tell me, compare the history. Look up the history of 1200 BCE and look up the age of princes in 1760 through 1855 and tell me what you find. How much evidence you gonna come up? See, one of the most proofs everybody been seeking for was grave sites. Show me a grave site. Didn't have somebody say, show me a grave site of anyone in the Bible. I pay for every life expense. I pay for all your life expenses. Show me a grave site. Well, we got them now, y'all. We got them. But it's not following the colonized timeline. It's not following the colonized dates. It's following real, authentic history that we can put our hands on. We can grab. We can take this to the courts. We can see this is the kind of information you'll be like, oh shit. Bob, give it back. Give it back. Give it back, Bob. They back. Give it back.
And that's what they do, and they giving it back.
Wiping my hands clean, Bob.
They giving it.
I'm no longer with this shit no more. The real God is back. That's what they say. You arguing about scriptures. You defending their history. We looking at the Roman soldiers. We looking at what? Pharaoh musicians. We see them every day. We talk to them every day. You know, so like I say, y'all, it's a much bigger game to be played. Join the big leagues. Join the big leagues. That's the website. Join the big leagues. Because I know we look crazy. What they gonna do? They ain't gonna do nothing. What they talking about that for? You should be waiting on Jesus. It says the saints gonna judge the world. Now, when you start finding information like this, you can really see how the saints gonna judge the world. Trust me, I understand. I'm gonna judge the world. What? It's hard to see. It's almost like it's. But when you get the hold of the information, that's why it talks about the rapture. You have to be raptured up because there's a lot of mountains. The level you at right now, definitely you can't see what we talking about. They got a big ass mountain right there. It's a big ass mountain, so it's impossible for you to see what I'm seeing. But once you come up to the mountain, the higher understanding, or as I call it, high school, you go a different level, you go a different grade level. Then you can see what we're talking about. That's what Mount Zion is about. That's what all this prophecy of God mountain being established in the last days. There's all this metaphoric talk. Because now we have some information that see over every mountain that they have put in front of us to not make us see. That's why I say, y'all, this is, man, it's so much valuable information, man. You know, like I say, it's old people's heads because they haven't accepted the calling. But if you accept the calling, you hear the voice. Trust me, you hear the voice. It's impossible not to hear it. The haters heard it. That's how I know you hear it. Now, like I say, a lot of people are caught into fear that thinking they're going to come after us if we make this move. Y'all, trust me, y'all. These people are holding on by their pinky right now. You see what I'm saying? Or some people say basically just stand on our backs. And because we bent over, shit, they still standing. But as soon as we stand up, they fall. And like I say, this is not in a fleshly way. This is a spiritual war. We in this condition because of God. We go back to God. We get what's rightfully ours. And people might say, well, why should a black man rule the world? The same reason why everybody profit off the black race. Because we have the same reason why the black race is cursed more than any other race in the world. Why does all the bad things happen to us? Ain't nobody ever realized that shit? Like, goddamn, why does all the bad things happen to us? We last in everything because we have something, we have been given something, and because we not using it, we curse. It's that simple. You remove the curse, then what's rightfully ours, and that's why they always call us the fathers of creation. And like I said, because a lot of people want to look at this and make it prejudice. This is about nature. This is something you see in nature. You see dominance. You see standout creations. You see that. So this is nature. This is the nature truth. So because we are the mothers and fathers of the earth, we are here to take care of the world. We are here to till the earth. We are here to make things grow. We are here to bring forth the image. That's our job. We not on that job. We wear a curse. That's why everybody want to be a part of the struggle, but not really of the struggle. But there's a reason why we struggle, and it's all have to do with God. So once we go back to God, that's when we get our rightful place. It's not about us creating something because we emotional, mad, or we feel we need to get back at somebody. That's what a lot of us have tried to do. We have failed. None of that is God's will. You know, and that's why it says, whatever verse was I was looking for the other day, it says, confess your sins and your forefathers' sins, then I will heal the land. Confess your sins and your forefathers' sins, then I will heal the land. We must first understand what the hell our forefathers did. Well, first of all, who are our forefathers? What they did. What our forefathers did. Rejected the voice of God, rejected direction, rejected instruction.
It says it's in Leviticus 26:40. If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquities of their fathers with their transpass, which they transpassed against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me. And that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity.
That's a key thing. If they accept the punishment of their iniquity. See, we have accepted our punishment to point our finger at another man and say, this is why we are in this condition, because of what the white man have done to me. But we have yet to accept our punishment as the iniquity of what our forefathers have done. When you look at it that way, you have a totally different glasses on. Or you got totally different eyes. When you look at it the proper way. But when you point the finger, you're not taking accountability. My mom would always say, don't point. I don't think she know why she said that, but pointing the finger takes a lot of accountability away. If I'm trapped, I'm not going to point the finger at who trapped me. What the hell I'm going to do? I'm figuring how to get out of the damn trap. But we so busy trying to point the finger, then get out the trap. No, you got to read one more. Because we got to what? Accept our, what it says, accept our what? Our iniquity of said the word I want to use. Accept the punishment
of their iniquity.
The punishment of their while we are truly, this is a punishment for us. That's like if you did something wrong, you get punished, you ain't gonna really be that mad. Unless you crazy. But if you did wrong, you're like, damn, I gotta accept the punishment. I take that. I did it.
And
you take the punishment. But if you just being punished, you don't know why you punished. Oh shit, you a ton of madman, mad woman.
And the iniquity is the sin, but people don't realize, that they're sinning. You want me to read
verse? Yeah.
This one. This one.
Mm-hmm.
Then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land.
Once we accept our punishment, accepting it means you understand it. Accepting it not really just mean like, oh, then God gonna remember the covenant. It has nothing to do with you getting on your knees.
It says, I will remember the land.
The covenant, yeah, but the land.
The land been given to them to know, but they don't,
You're not gonna remember the land until what? I didn't come across all this information until what? I accepted what has been done and what I need to do. That's like shit. Okay, well, God, this is. Oh, we rejected the law. So what now? What I have to do? I'm ready to get it back. I don't want to point the finger. I don't care what did wrong. How do I get it back? Because if I'm this, then I have the ability to get it back. If that instinct don't kick in, you ain't ready. Just wait. But the instinct should kick in once you know who you are. You have the ability to get it back. If that instinct don't kick in, especially as a man, I don't know. Something wrong. The instinct is supposed to kick in. That's why the whole thing of deceiving us of who we was or where we come from, changing our names, getting rid of all that so Israel would not be known. So the covenant is not going to be remembered. It has nothing to do with reading scriptures. It has nothing to do with getting on your knees. It has nothing to do with going to a building. It has accepting your punishment of iniquity and confessing your sins and your forefathers' sins so you can understand how not to sin. And read one more, the last verse.
The land also shall be left of them, and shall enjoy their Sabbaths, which she lieth desolated without them, and they shall accept of the punishment of their iniquity, because they despise by judgment, and because their soul heard my statutes.
It's another verse where it says, I'm gonna heal their land. That kind of went into it, but it lets you know their land was gonna be without them. But the verse I was talking about, it kind of said it right there when it says God gonna remember the covenant. But it's another verse where it says He gonna heal the land. We're gonna bring us back into that covenant, which is again that covenant of grace, that covenant of redemption. Abraham was redeemed. Abraham covenant is about redemption. It's not about all the stuff that they preach. Abrahamic religion is about redeeming the people in real life. But we got to guess, y'all. What's going on? Peace.
What's up? How's your petition going, brother?
We'll talk about the title, brother.
You ain't doing the petition no more?
Are you here to talk about the title, brother? The petition is still up. The petition is still alive. Or are you here to talk about the title?
Yeah, Ethiopia is not the biblical Israel.
Okay, so
what makes you say that?
I have this to read for you, brother.
Go ahead.
Can you read that for us? I'm pretty sure you're a good reader.
Uh-huh.
Can you read to everybody? We all want to hear from an excellent reader like yourself.
They can see it. I don't need to read it if they can see it, right?
Yeah, that's the way, you know,
We all read
you
more
might,
together, right?
when we're in the classroom and you put something on
And
the
you know how to
board,
read too.
I'm pretty
You said
sure
what?
in the classroom when you put something on the board, although it's on the board, you still read it to the class. So I want you to
But you ain't no teacher though, brother. You ain't my teacher.
that's why I want you to read it. I want you to
Yeah,
be
but you ain't my teacher though.
I'm not trying to be your
So,
teacher.
but they can read it though. A teacher commands me to read, brother.
So you asked me,
You're not my teacher, so I'm not supposed to read for no one.
So, brother, what does it say?
Bro, it's good, bro.
What,
I see what it says. What's your point though? Why are you bringing this up?
what you mean?
That's why I want you to read it, for you to break it down for me, to tell me why I don't have a point. 'Cause I'm showing you my point. You read it and show me why I don't have a point.
What does this have to do with Israel? This has nothing to do with Israel.
Our topic
Or
is
being a biblical
Ethiopia.
Israel.
Our topic is Ethiopia is the biblical Israel. So we're giving you evidence to how it's the biblical Israel, so you can justify if it's not or if it is true.
Where was the book of Judges?
So,
Where was the
you
book
said
of
the book of
Judges?
Judges?
Where did the
All
book
over
of
the place,
Judges
brother.
happen at?
Bro, the book of Judges happened all over the place, brother. It's not just one place. Like, what are you talking about? They were scattered all over the places. They didn't have no king during that moment of time. So they were going off. They were doing all
So what
types
places?
of wickedness.
What places were they scattered to?
Like, what are you talking about? That's why I'm
What
like,
places?
this is not proving that
Brother.
Ethiopia is the book.
So now,
Yeah, go ahead.
what places were they scattered to?
All over the place, brother, four corners.
Not in the book of Judges.
They weren't set up properly in like
The
in
book of Judges, the people was not scattered,
Yes,
bro.
in the book of Judges, they were actually.
Bring your proof, brother.
Bro, the book of Judges, bro. Were they not doing wickedness? Yes or no?
Hold on. The book of Judges.
Were there tribes all over the place? Yes or no?
Brother.
Yeah, let me get you a scripture. I got you.
Hold up. It says, I'm gonna start off I'm in Judges chapter 1, verse 1. It says, now after the death of Joshua, it came to pass, the children of Israel asked the Lord, saying, who shall go up first for us against the Canaanites and fight against them? So did not Joshua at that time gathered all Israel? All Israel is with Joshua. All Israel is with Joshua, right?
I'm skipping the first verse.
I'm reading the first verse. I'm just saying, all Israel.
Deuteronomy chapter 31, the Most High.
Brother.
Hold on.
It's a question.
I'm about to explain it to you.
No, brother. You see, that's what people get. We're not asking you to explain nothing. We just want you to answer the question. So, did not Joshua gather all Israel and take them into the promised land?
No, he didn't.
So, what did Joshua do?
Yeah, Joshua led them. He didn't gather them. They were already gathered.
Okay, so my point was, at Joshua time, Israel was together. Because he trying to say the book of Judges when we were scattered. No, the book of Judges ain't. So I just want, I'm verifying. At that time,
at a point of time, they were, brother. Like,
brother, hold on, slow down. Slow down. You in a rush?
Have you read the whole book of Judges?
Slow down, brother. Are you in a rush? You in a rush? If you're not in a rush, just take our time.
So it's speeding up my voice.
Okay, so just slow down for me right quick. So
bad connection, so it's speeding up my voice.
I didn't get an answer. So just to clarify, the book of Judges starts off with the children of Israel being in one place.
Yeah, at first, yes.
Okay. So this is great for my point. Slavery started really in the 1800s. You know, that's when slavery really kicked off.
Slavery started before that.
Hold on, just hear me out. Hear me out. The people, hold up. The people.
Your history is off.
Slow down. Just walk with me for a second. Now you could debunk me later. Debunk me after I explain myself.
Somebody when you're not telling the truth off bat.
If I'm not telling the truth. If I'm not telling the truth, then you will be able to debunk me.
In the 1800s.
Bro, I'm not finna talk over you, bro. So you could debunk me.
Not just say slavery started in the 1800s.
You could debunk me when I'm finished. So this is my point of having this background up here. He just verified that the children of Israel was not slaves at the time of Joshua passing, which is the beginning of the book of Judges, because the king is passed away. You know, it's no king. You know, now it's no king. It's because Joshua was the one that was fighting for him. So now you don't have Joshua no more. So now you have nothing but princes, which is what? The age of princes. It's no king. Because what? Joshua is gone. So from 1760 to 1855, you had tribal wars of the people. Because it goes into, that's what the book of Judges is about, them fighting. Some of them being scared to fight. They don't have a king. They got princes, but no king. So when I say slavery began in 1800s, because this is when what? You had no king to govern the people. So now it was just what? Chiefs fighting chiefs. Fighting to become king, but never having a king. Until Tedros rise up to what? What is Tedros known for? Unifying. That's the part we leave out. Like, the princess wasn't unifying the people. The king rises up to unify the people. The princess was fighting. They was not unifying. So when you get into that's why the king or the first and second kings is so important. Because if you just a prince, oh yeah, you're a prince, but you're not a king, so you can't unify the people. So when I say slavery began in the 1800s, this is when the so-called king at that time or whatever will pass away, if you want to say. Because that's why you got an era. It had to be before 1760. If you go back, you'll find a king probably. You'll find the first king or something, whatever, or whoever they deem king. That's why the era of princes is only a particular time. And this is when what? People began to leave Ethiopia. You have no king. All you have is wars. Everybody not a fighter. Some people might just want to be a scientist. Scientists really don't fight. I'm leaving. I'm going somewhere else. And then at the time of Judges, you had the prophecy of David gonna rise up. So you could come sell the people a dream. That's why they had missionaries in the 1800s. Because you come tell the people, somebody gonna come save you from this turmoil. A king will rise up. Come to this new land. I will show you the king. And if it's number war in my land, I'm gonna say, well, let's say the first slave ship was Jesus. Shit, I can see why. I can see why. If the era of the princes was in the 17 or 1800s, now I see, well, damn, they could bring Jesus to us. That's the king. That's the king gonna come from the era of princes. So, but again, when we don't know history, y'all, you can't even begin to fight the lie. You could disagree with the lie, but you can't. Disagreeing with the lie don't mean you fighting it. To fight the lie, you have to have the truth. That's why Israel didn't fight the giant. They didn't have enough courage to fight Goliath. Only David did. Because why? God have chose David. You know, so we get into the concept of the era of the princes and slavery. When I told the brother slavery happened in the 1800s, he looking at me like I'm crazy. But he don't even know the era of the princes. He don't know that the time we had no king. This is a time where what? It was what? Israel against Israel. So at that time, you'll sell your brother. Shit, you'll sell your brother right now in America. You'll knock him off, sell him off. To this day. And America ain't with us in no way, shape, or form. You'll read this in the history book and be like, why is these niggas fighting? America fighting and they fighting. It don't make no sense. That's the same kind of sense. That's why we have to what? Know what our forefathers did. But I want you, brother, to debunk or whatever, bring out that the era of Judges is not connected to Ethiopian history. And what history is connected to? Tell us or enlighten us what history is the book of Judges connected to? Like Joe, I want to know.
Yeah, after I deal with that slavery part. So you're telling me that nobody has enslaved anybody until they hit the 1800s? That's when they started?
I'm talking about the slavery that they teach us about. People has always been slaves. You slaves, you got white, Chinese, black, you got every nation a part of slavery today. But the slavery they teach us about. When the Ethiopians started coming over here as slaves, it was you maybe can throw the late 1700s in there. But mainly the 1800s is when they really started bringing multiple people from East Africa as true slaves.
Are you talking about the Atlantic slave trade?
Yeah. Every person from Africa got to come across the Atlantic to get to America. Every African, whether they flying.
Hold on, bro. I'm talking about the slavery that you're speaking about. Them teaching us. Are you talking about the Atlantic slave trade that they teach us in school?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know. So now, if you're talking about the Atlantic slave trade, right? Now, in the I think around the 17 to the 1800s, have you heard of the Gullah Wars, where there was African Americans and Native Americans fighting against the people that were enslaving them? So if it started in the 1700s, then that means they were enslaved probably prior than that if they were trying to get out of it, correct?
Brother,
Look up the Gullah Wars.
everybody is slaves.
Look up the Gullah Wars real quick.
When did the Gullah Wars take place?
Look it up. 1700s, around the 1700s to the 1800s.
1700 when?
Type it in, brother, and screenshot it just like you screenshotted that.
I'm saying you bring it out. You tell us. You the one supposed to be bringing out the information. So just tell me if you know,
brother. If you knew, you would have just stated that, right? But you didn't. You put it on the screen. So brother, can you put whatever I'm saying on the screen so people can see it,
brother?
You have it.
When
yeah, I got you. I put it on the screen if you guys will let me. Want me to put it on screen?
Yes,
I'll
yes.
put it on screen.
I got you.
But you can't tell us real quick so we can continue the conversation. My people, boy. Now
I got it. I got it right here. Quickly. Just put me on the screen real quick.
No, you put it up first.
I got you. All right. Hold on 1 second. There you go. This is the Gullah Wars, refer to a long period, roughly 1739 to 1858, of armed resistance, rebellions, and I can't even say that word. I can't even say that word either. By Gullah Geechee, people and black Seminoles against slavery in the American South. So they were fighting in the 1739 through 1858.
And when was but brother, so
that means they were in slavery prior to this if they were trying to build up and fight.
Brother, no.
Build a kingdom and fight.
For one thing, slavery was like, I want you to come do this. And you say no. That can be a form of fighting against slavery. Fighting against slavery, though, because slavery go way back before the Europeans even start bringing us over here as slaves.
I agree.
Okay, so the term slave is simply work or servant. You are in servitude to someone else. That's what slavery really is.
Okay. Then why'd you say slavery started in the 1800s?
Because the slavery that they teach us about, brother, cotton. When you deal with cotton and you deal with a lot of agriculture, you're dealing with the 1800s. This is facts. Slavery was about agriculture. You can't. So when you look up agriculture and it really coming to America for how would I say it? What's how you say it? in industrial revolution? That's the 1800s. That's not the 1600s, and it's not the early 1700s. It's just like this say. The mid 1800s, you see what I'm saying? And the 19th century, which is the same date you gave, 1739. I might have been what? I was at what, 1760? I'm 30 years off from you,
We
bro.
got times before that. The Arabs enslaved the African Americans as well in around like I think it was like they started 600 AD.
That's
That's
what
when they started enslavement. I literally got the whole. Hold on, I got the whole diagram in my notes, brother. I literally studied this for the Muslims because they try to say that they didn't enslave us, but they did.
Brother.
So I studied this, brother. So whatever you're saying is a complete lie. It didn't never started in the 1800s with our people being enslaved. The Arabs started first. Then the Europeans thought it was a good idea to enslave us. But the Arabs traded us to the Europeans, right? Because they made a treaty because the Arabs were enslaving the Europeans as well as us. But
And
then
we-
they made a treaty, so they made a deal. So the Arabs took the Europeans back to their people, and then the Europeans took the Arabs' strategies and they used it to enslave us. So that's why they took us on ships.
So we didn't start fighting back until the 1700s.
Yes, correct.
So
We probably no wait. I'll say this: we probably
waited-
started fighting throughout time.
Hey, we
just
waited-
don't have no
hold up.
history of a war like the Gullah Wars.
So I'm saying,
pretty sure we
so
started
we
fighting.
didn't,
We're
so
rebellious people.
we was in slavery since the 14 and 1500s.
Nah, I'll say 600 AD.
Shit, thousands of years,
Correct.
and we people of God. It took us thousands of years for us to start fighting back.
And brother, that's according to history, bro. I studied this.
No. That's according to.
I have the history, bro.
No, that's according to his story. That's not our story.
All right, man.
That's not our story. I'm just telling you facts. That's not our story.
Sure.
Trust me. That's why you have to know about Ethiopian history. You can't pull those stories off if you had Ethiopian history. It would be impossible.
What you're doing is saying F everybody else's history and just Ethiopia's history is the true history, right? That's what you're saying?
Brother, King David is not from every nation.
Bro, I never said that.
Okay then. So in the Bible is about King David nation. So is the Bible saying fuck every nation?
It's not
No.
about King David's nation.
It's about King David descendants, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I thought you were talking about his tribe. Like, I thought you meant his tribe.
Well, I'm just saying, but so the Bible is talking about particular people.
Yeah, Israel.
Okay,
yeah.
so the Bible is not saying fuck all nations then, right?
You said what?
The Bible is talking about gathering all nations, but at the same time speaking of a particular people, right?
Yeah, correct. But it
Okay.
has other nations' history involved with it as well, though.
Well, brother,
What they did to us and how they're moving.
Well,
So
brother,
what are you talking about?
we also involved in a lot of history because we've been scattered all over the world. So we are very involved in history.
Okay, so that means we can involve other people's history because it aligns with the history that we have, correct?
No, I wouldn't say it aligned. No, because the history,
To a certain extent, yeah, it does.
brother, the history you bringing up, no, it's not in alignment with our history.
Like for example,
No.
when we go to Egypt, right? There is not one tablet that they state that Moses took the children of Israel out of Egypt. There's a mass exodus, but they don't have no account of Moses.
No, it's not a mass exodus, and you're right. Because
In Egypt, it was.
Egypt is a mind frame that the children of Israel went back to.
Brother, they
Because
got
they
in the
rejected
Egyptian
Moses.
history that they enslaved Israel and they exit out of their
Bro,
land.
the children of
They
Israel
literally have
never
history
been.
of that. So whatever you're saying goes against history, bro.
The church.
They just
Of
don't have no
course,
history
yeah,
of
dude.
Moses.
It's going. The truth is against history.
What?
The truth is against history.
The truth is against history.
Because you gotta understand, you don't follow history, you follow historians' information. You don't follow history. You don't know what happened in history. You wasn't there. So
You
you
don't
follow
either, though.
historians. You don't follow
don't either.
history.
You look that up off of Wikipedia. You see that? Do you know Wikipedia? They can edit that. I can edit it, bro. Did you know that? So you're going based off of the same stuff. So hold yourself to that same standard then. Because you
Brother.
try to hold everybody else to a certain standard, but you don't hold yourself to.
Brother, what I got don't come from Wikipedia. This is
Oh,
this is to help you understand.
You got deceit in your mouth, brother.
Okay.
You said you don't, but you do.
Okay. And what you got?
And that kingdom has never showed up.
What you got in your mouth?
You've been preaching that kingdom for how many years, you told me?
What you
Like
got in your
10?
mouth?
10?
What you got in your mouth?
You said what?
What you got in your mouth?
I don't know what I got in my mouth, brother. I got just regurgitated information.
Man, you still want to talk.
That's what I got in my mouth. I'm just giving you information that I'm regurgitating. That's it.
All right,
That I
brother.
learned.
We got any more questions, brother?
Nah, it's all good. But that kingdom, like I said, was not about to happen, brother. And it's not gonna happen.
Okay.
That petition, God is not about to grant that petition, bro.
Thank you, brother. I
Stop that.
appreciate it.
All right.
I'm glad you let me know that. My people, boy, my people.
You know,
But y'all
and if you didn't agree with the information, you can just come up and explain,
debunk it.
What happened to the era of princes? Where did this happen? Like, defend your information.
Oh, he ain't got no information to defend. That's why I say whatever you want about the Son of Man. You know. But y'all, it's getting to be quit time, man. It's beautiful. We got a nice warm winter, so we gonna get the hell off this social media. If you want more information, y'all, you know the website, man. You know where to find us at. You know where to contact us at. Everything is up there, y'all. This is a movement. This is not religion. Everything is a tool if you what? If you qualify for the job. But see, a lot of people ain't qualified, so they can't use the tools to fix the problems. But when you qualify, you can use the tools. We can pick up the Quran. We can pick up the Bible. We can pick up the Book of Mormon. We can pick up the Egyptology. We could pick up all of these things and bring you right back what? To where we at right now. That's when you qualify for the job. When you're in Babylon, you're playing with the tools, you don't know what they're truly used for. A lot of people don't know what the Bible is truly supposed to be used for. You know, it's evidence of God prophecy happening in the world that forms a Melchizedek order. I'm going to say it again. Melchizedek is the order. And when Abraham recognized it, he received bread and wine, and he was great and happy. That's why it's written, when Abraham seen me, he rejoiced. Understand the metaphors, understand the prophecy, understand the allegory writings. So this order, if you're a real child of Abraham, when you see it, you get happy. That's how you know you're a child of Abraham. You know. So you know, I know I ain't got nothing else, y'all. You got some
Yeah, go check out that website. Understand this mission. Understand why we're talking about Ethiopia. It's all on the website. So peace and blessings to y'all. Peace,
peace, y'all. We out.